Tyndall. And you see the O-line led by Ravi Johnson in the middle. The guards are Haywood and Wright. And then you got Taylor and Spencer at the tackles.
And Big Spencer was the only guy that was a starter last year, so it'll be interesting to see if they have gelled this early into the season.
Second back through, gets the ball, and it's Nobles on the carry. Wright on the stop defensively, and we'll look at Wright along with the rest of the defense. Up front, Prescott and Bailey. At the tackles, the ends of Holmes and Alameen. McKnight, Freeman, and Lane are the linebackers. There's some good ones. And watch out for the young man by the name Brandon Morgan, along with Robert Harris. Harris can really do it, can't he?
Yes, number 20, Robert Harris, he'll be the key to the day because they're going to put 8 men in the box. When Benedict wants to run the ball, number 20 should be the unblocked player. He should have a lot of chances to make big plays.
He's the defensive captain for Morehouse. Play action again. Lyle pulls it down, decides to run close to the first down. May have it right at about the 44-yard line. We'll see exactly where the referee marks it. That was a second down play.
And you can see they're going to run the ball first, but they're going to come with a little bit of play action. And as he's making guys miss, he's getting the first down. And that's exactly what they want Tremaine Loud to do. They just want him to manage the game. If nobody's open, don't force it. Use your athletic ability, make someone miss, get to a 3rd and 1. That's a perfect situation.
3rd and inches now for the Tigers of Benedict. Scott is the up back in the eye. Nobles is the second back. It goes to Nobles. And Nobles has the first down with plenty to spare across the 45, and Juan Holmes makes the stop defensively for the Tigers of Morehouse. 4-6 was the record for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse a year ago. They were 3-5 in conference play, while the Tigers of Benedict, overall record, they were 3-8, 3-6 in the SIAC. As you look at Terry Buford, that's a story in itself, and we'll get into that as we go along. He is lucky to be standing on the sideline today. First down and 10 at the 46-yard line. Play action again. Lyle throws incomplete. In and out of the hands of the tight end, Brad Jackson. He had it, just didn't look it in.
And that's an excellent call by Coach Buford, by the Benedict offensive coordinator, because a first down play action when you're a running team, even though he dropped the ball, you have to do that sometime. And if he would have caught it, you would have been in a situation where you're at 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. And when you're a predominantly running team, that's the type of plays you want to get on first down, just to throw the defense off a little bit.
It is 2nd down, 2nd and 10 at the 46-yard line. Little blitz being shown, and here's the fullback, the Rashidi Scott, going straight up the gut. Close to a first down for the Benedict Tigers. We knew they were going to run the ball, Eddie.
They're going to run the ball. Coach Polk knew it too. And what he tried to do was blitz from the left side, and he was real lucky because if that fullback makes that one guy miss, he may take that all the way to the house. The problem about run blitzing is if the running back can get past the first wave, he can really squirt. And if he has some speed, he can almost score.
Third and inches again. Nobles with the ball again, and Nobles cut down, may not have gotten the first down. The first man to come up to hit him was Lynn Freeman, the senior out of Atlanta. He was the leading tackler on this team a year ago. He was a preseason second team all SIAC selection. So that he did not get it. This will be a 4th down. Even though the ball is across midfield, let's see. They're going to punt it away, it looks like. And that'll bring on Martin Degazan. This is the first punt of his collegiate career. He was a field goal kicker just a year ago, but they lost their punter, Rod Carson, who quit the team a couple of weeks ago. Well, they decided to call a timeout. It looks like Morehouse wasn't ready as far as personnel on special teams, so there's no score here in Atlanta. 8:11 is the time remaining. We're in the first quarter. It's prime time.
Well, it wasn't until Hurricane Charlie was over that the real danger began.
I'm State Farm Agent Dan Mann, and this is a true story.
I'm a diabetic, and so when the power goes out, that's real bad.
His insulin had to stay cold.
He brought me ice.
Plus a check for emergency living expenses.
Before my neighbor even heard from his insurance company. And with all the thousands of people that needed help down here, I felt like they're only one.
When you need someone most, nobody takes care of you like State Farm.
We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ESPN Fantasy Football is so easy to use.
Yeah, and it doesn't require a major time commitment. And we love the camaraderie it engenders.
The way we're talking is so weird. This room and our clothes. Brandy, Randy, Candy, I don't think we exist.
What do you mean, Sandy?
I think we're just part of some guy's fantasy, and whoever he is, he obviously loves ESPN Fantasy Football, and we're just icing on the cake.
Ooh, there's cake?
ESPN Fantasy Football. Play for free at ESPN.com/fantasyfootball.
College, from the Latin collegium, meaning association. University, from universium, which literally means everything. And that's what America's institutions of higher learning are all about. People getting together to share a universe of knowledge and experiences in the libraries, labs, and classrooms, and also in the arenas and stadiums, the proving grounds for young athletes and the ancient ideal they honor. Strip the spectacle away, and you're left with the unvarnished foundation of college athletics. Working, dreaming, striving, playing for the love of the game and for the love and respect of your teammates.
ESPNU's College Football Primetime is brought to you by NikeGridiron.com. Well, Eddie, I'm sure with the first game, there's still a lot of things to iron out in terms of personnel being on the field at the right time, which forced Morehouse to use one of his timeouts early here in the first quarter.
And you can expect that. You hate to burn a timeout in that situation, but you have to get your personnel on the field.
Ravenel Dupree back to receive the kick of Martin Degazan. High snap. His first collegiate punt. Well, you can see it. I'm not even sure if that went 15 yards. It may not even have been, I think it was about 4 yards. So let's see where they mark it. Anyway, we'll be back. We're in Atlanta.
Hello, I'm Dr. William Lyde, Commissioner of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and I welcome you to SIAC Sports. The SIAC is composed of 15 institutions of higher education offering 12 varsity sports. Alumni such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Morehouse College and Olympic gold medalist Alice Coachman of Tuskegee University have graced our campuses as graduates. So join us and catch the excitement.
Think we can go back in yet?
Huh?
I want to head back inside. I think I saw a few more people working.
You think he knows it's just a drill?
There's one place where sports' hottest athletes mix with the glamour of Hollywood.
Hey, I'm Andy Roddick. Welcome to my party.
ESPN Hollywood takes you inside the celebrity lives of sports' top stars.
Still got a lot of offers to do movies.
The spotlight.
It's almost like walking around with Brad Pitt.
The sets.
That's Reggie Jackson.
The shoots. And everything Hollywood.
David Beckham, he fit really nicely in Wisteria Lane.
ESPN Hollywood. Weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Presented by SIAC.
That's a nice job. Tea? No, later.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays, 10:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
No score here in Atlanta between Benedict and Morehouse, and Martin Degazan, the sophomore from the Virgin Islands in St. Lucia. His first collegiate punt went only 8 yards. The first time that he got a chance to punt, and there you see Coach Hendrick He had to give the kid a little confidence. He was hoping anyhow, right, Eddie?
Well, he didn't give him much confidence, and if they had another punter, that may have been his last collegiate punt. This is his first time punting, but it's 4th and inches. If I'm the coach, I'm going to try and get this first down. You're on the 40-yard line. Your defense is playing well. Try to get a little momentum on a big road game starting the season.
Well, now Morehouse has the ball, 1st down and 10 at their own 37-yard line, their second offensive possession. Carlos King is the quarterback. And a play action pass. He's going to let it go. And it's overthrown, intended for Raymond Johnson. And it was Charvarez Atchison who got his hands on it. Javaris Atchison.
Now, this is a great play. It's play action, and what they're running is the old NCAA route. You see the crossing route coming wide open, number 6. That's the guy he wanted to throw it to. He went to the post instead, but he threw it into triple coverage. That's something that they can come back to with the first down play action.
They like that young man, Raymond Johnson, who they threw to. Raymond Johnson transferred over from Morris Brown after they dropped their football program. And here's J.D. Washington, John David Washington. Don't forget, next Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPNU, college football continues as the Vanderbilt Commodores of the Southeast Conference take on the ACC's Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with the U. College football prime time on ESPNU Thursday night. For more information, just log on to ESPNU.com. 3rd down. 3rd and 7 facing the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse. Quarterback rolls, lets it go, has it complete to Corey Russ on the sideline in front of their own bench, and he picks up the 1st down. Picked up about 8 or 9 on that pass. So the young man showed his ability to roll opposite and throw across his body.
He's doing a good job, and what they're doing is getting him out the pocket. He's a runner and a thrower, so they're rolling him out so he can get good lanes of vision, and he's completing the short 7 to 10-yard plays. That's where he's going to excel at today as a quarterback.
The quarterback who was starting up until this year is in at tight end as J.D. Washington is hit by McCausland right at the line of scrimmage. That's the 4th tackle by McCausland. 4th tackle tonight by McCausland. DeJuan Burton is going to check back out. They were playing him at tight end, and he's a story in itself, and we'll get to that as the game goes along. But he had been the starter the last 2 years. Carlos King won the job, and I asked Coach earlier this week, I said, is there any quarterback controversy on your squad? He said, not in my mind. He said, I know who my starter is going to be, and it is Carlos King. Little J.D. Washington across midfield down to the 48-yard line. Dejir Bostic on the stop defensively. And there you see DeJuan Burton, rather. And you see the stats on him a year ago, over 1,200 yards. He threw 5 touchdowns and threw 9 interceptions. But, you know, he's been playing this wide receiver or tight end spot for 2 days, 48 hours. I said, we're going to name a movie after him and let Denzel star in it. And the kid who took the job, there he is, Carlos King, young man out of Albany, Georgia, health and physical ed major. 3rd down, 7 from the shotgun.
Run.
And he's running well and has the 1st down inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Gerard Washington on the stop defensively. They mark it about the 37.
And this is very frustrating for the defense. You get these guys in 3rd and 7. I don't know if this was a designed quarterback draw, but he took off pretty fast and he didn't look downfield long. So even if you have good coverage, he's the type of guy that on the 3rd and 7, he can make someone miss, still get the 1st down and move the chains. And for a defense, that is extremely frustrating.
Well, we talked to him yesterday. We asked him what was his strength. He says he feels he can do it both, run it and throw it.
And he can.
And he got 11 yards on that run, and it is 1st down and 10 down to the 37-yard line of Morehouse, of Benedict rather. And here's J.D. Washington straight into the line. And he's carried the ball quite a bit today. McCausland again with his 5th tackle of the ball game. Gary McCausland, he's a man, isn't he?
He's a big guy. He's I don't know if he's going to wear out, but if he doesn't, he may be in the double-digit marks as a defensive tackle making plays today because he's all over the place so far.
He scored the only touchdown in their 10-7 loss to Morehouse a year ago on a fumble recovery. Ran it in for 2 yards from 2 yards out for Benedict's only scores. J.D. Washington gets the call once again. Chaz Harris on the stop defensively. And they're doing a good job on J.D. Washington. He has 15 yards, or maybe 16 on 9 carries.
But that's okay. It's not the first 10 or 15 carries. It's the next 10 or 15 carries. He's going to get stronger as the game goes on. And trust me, Coach Buford wants to try to run down and just wear down Benedict today.
3rd and 3. Ball at the 30-yard line. Here's the quarterback, Carlos King, on the option. Not much running room for him there as Lars Curry, the middle linebacker, came up to make the stop defensively. So it'll bring up a 4th down and about 1. 4th and maybe 2. Make it 4th and a long 1.
And no hesitation by Coach Buford, the punter, the kicker. Nobody came onto the field. He already knows in his mind he's going for it.
Well, let's see. They're going to go for it on 4th down. And now the whistle blows. And let's see whose timeout is called here. And this again. There's a timeout on the field. Benedict calls it. 4th down when we come back.
Stephen A. Smith is talking to the biggest names in sports. Allen Iverson, Ron Artest, Gary Sheffield, Larry Brown. This week, tennis greats Serena Williams and Andy Roddick, and NBA star Carmelo Anthony. Plus the New York Yankees. With the biggest payroll in baseball, why are they fighting for their playoff lives?
Quite frankly, you know what I think.
Quite Frankly with Stephen A. Smith. Weeknights at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN2.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
That's 3-on-2. Score! He kept his feet going. Touchdown. He's got it!
The best college sports action all year long.
Oh, to carry it down this rocket! The Denver Pioneers win the national championship. Scores!
Here's what's playing tomorrow night at 9. Catch the College Game Day season preview special. At 10, Women's Big East Championship. Connecticut battles Rutgers. ESPNU, always in season.
Okay, time for a quick lesson in back to school. Used to be the only notebook you needed was this. Nowadays, it's all about the Gateway Notebook with Intel Centrino mobile technology. Take the super lightweight M250X. It weighs less than most history books, so you can take it anywhere. Or how about the M360X with extra long battery life, giving you the freedom to work into the night? And the M680 with killer performance and a huge 17-inch screen. Perfect for studying with a friend, then downloading a movie to watch when you're done. Each has a widescreen display, and thanks to Intel Centrino mobile technology, you get integrated wireless and amazing battery life. Order yours today and you'll get free shipping, plus a photo quality printer. For notebooks starting as low as $899.99, call today or buy online at gateway.com. If you're college bound, ask how your computer can be tailored to your school through Gateway's campus computing program.
Excuse me, can you tell me where the library is?
I gotta go.
The Maroon Tigers of Benedict. I should say Maroon Tigers of Morehouse. And there's Terry Buford. He decided not to go for it in terms of a field goal, but he's going to go for it on 4th and 1. And let's see, who would you give it to?
Well, Carlos King has been doing an excellent job making people miss and managing the game. But if I have J.D. Washington, that's my guy on 4th and 1 without a doubt.
4th down and 1, J.D. Washington, 15 yards. Actually 18 yards on 9 carries right now. His father's in the stands, but more importantly, he just wants to win. He said he not set any goals, personal goals for himself this year as he's done in the past. 4th and inches, 4th and 1. J.D. Washington cuts it to the outside, bounces back, and he is going to be a first down. He picks up the first down with good second effort. Titus Carey came up to make the stop, but second effort on the run. And guess who was over there blocking on that side as a tight end? Dewan Burton.
And I can't believe that they actually ran behind Dewan Burton. He's a quarterback, but as you can see here, it's an excellent job by J.D. Washington making the guy miss. He was tackled, which would have been a turnover because he was behind the line of scrimmage on a 4th and 1 play. So he did an excellent job of making a person miss and getting the first down.
Pauletta Denzel in the stands. He says she's only missed 2 games in his whole football career. King puts it up. And it's just a little bit too far for Raymond Johnson. The outstretched hands coming right at you. Hold on to your popcorn.
And Johnson is the big play guy. He's the leading receiver from last year, and he has a lot of speed. They're trying to use him like the Jerome Mathis was used at Hampton, where Coach Buford came from. Excellent first down call, just to try one deep and see if you can't catch him sleeping.
And you look at the time of possession, over 5 minutes more for Morehouse over Benedict, but we still have no score. We have a 2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse. Here's J.D. Washington. He lost maybe a yard on the play. We talked to him about J.D., what it stands for, John David, and I asked him, where's the origin of John David? He says, depending on who you talk to. Do you talk to my mother or you talk to my father? What did he say his father named him after?
Well, I think the father said, John David Crow.
The former St. Louis Cardinal running back.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Right, but then his mother, he said his mother said it came from his father, his grandfather, and his great-grandfather, John and David. So
exactly.
Depending on who you listen to, the mom or the dad. The women probably win in this situation.
Most of the time.
3rd down, incomplete. A little bit too short. It was Quincy Avery who was the intended receiver. Carl Spellman was the man it bounced off of. There you see Spellman right there. Spellman out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Adams is in, the punter. Well, they're going to try to field goal, but he does both. And this one will be a 42-yard field goal attempt. Make it 43. The kick is up. It's long enough, but it's no good. Wide left. Wide to the left. No good.
He definitely had the leg for that kick. He just pulled it a little bit, and those wide college hashes make it hard to hook that in there. But that's right at about his range. He was making kicks in practice yesterday from 43, 44 yards, and Coach Buford was like, that's about the limit on him. I think he feels like he can make that kick, and if he gets another chance, I believe he can.
Well, this will be Benedict's 2nd possession. They drove down to the Morehouse 46 before they had an 8-yard punt. There's Marquise Horn on the sideline there. Young man who came out of California, transferred from a junior college, English major. 1st down and 10. And still on his feet is Jeff Nobles, Jeffrey Nobles. Robert Harris with his first tackle of the evening.
And this is exactly what Benedict wants to do. They want to make one cut, get downhill. They have a lot of big guys up front. They excel at running the football. They have 3 running backs. They're going to rotate out. They want to be methodical, just keep the game close and run down Morehouse's defensive line.
Talking to Joseph Polk, the defensive coordinator for the Maroon Tigers at Morehouse, he said their strength was in pass defense. They must improve their defense against the run. But one reason, and we'll talk about it after this play, as we see Nobles run into the gut on the defensive side, is one of the things that helped them this year was they've got depth on the defensive side of the football. Last year they only had 5 defensive linemen. This year they have 5 defensive tackles and 6 defensive ends, and that helps.
Right, last year they just didn't have the body, so they went to every game undersized and undermanned at probably the most important position on the defense, which is the big guys up front. Now they have a real good rotation. That's Coach Pitts, former NFL player who's trying to encourage his guys. So they know that they have to use all of the troops today in order to stop this running game.
They certainly do, and it's a 1st down and 10 for Benedict. And here we go again with the running back, Lynn Freeman, on the stop, and it's Jeffrey Nobles. And he's gone for 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And we've only seen Jeff Nobles. We haven't seen the other guys, Sumner and Elijah Clark. In fact, Elijah Clark was a man who's had some pretty good success against this Benedict squad, or I should say Morehouse squad, over the years.
Yes, Elijah Clark was a little banged up in training camp this year, so expect Andre Summer, 24, 36, Jeffrey Nobles. All of these guys are going to rotate in and out. They're going to let all 3 of these guys just attack Morehouse's front 7, and they're going to have to bring 8 in the box in order to stop this run game.
Britton Thompson comes back in as a wide receiver, and now we got a timeout. I believe they didn't have the right personnel, so they used their 2nd timeout. We're in the 1st quarter, just 32 seconds remaining, and it's a shame you used that timeout with that little time left in the 1st quarter.
And see, he's real emphatic with this call. It may be a situation where he was going to run to a spot where there wasn't going to be any blocking. So as a running back, he's like, time out. We need another guy up in here.
That's funny. Well, you would know from a linebacker spot, right? Don't forget Friday, September 2nd. The Indiana Hoosiers will travel to take on Central Michigan. That game is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the first time a Big Ten opponent has visited the Chippewas. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with the U. That's college football primetime on ESPNU Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. For more information, just log on to ESPNU.com. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson here in Atlanta. As you look at the Morehouse band, you'll see them at halftime. You don't want to miss the halftime show, the Battle of the Bands. But right now it is a second down facing the Benedict Tigers. Second and about 8. Play action. Lyle, he's running all the way. That was run all the way. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 45-yard line by Lynn Freeman. They're going to mark it right at about the 44. So he picked up maybe 5 on the play. And it'll bring up 3rd and about 3. Make it 4.
And Charlie, that's no problem. He didn't see what he liked downfield, so he managed the game. He took off running. He picked up a couple yards. He's in the 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situation. From an offensive standpoint, you can manage that. You can get a first down in the 3rd and 4. It's hard to get a first down when it's 3rd and 10.
So one of the things that they wanted to do offensively, Coach Hendrick did, and Tim Harkness, the offensive coordinator, was keep Tremaine Lyle in the pocket because he has a tendency to get outside a little too much for them. Here's the blitz and the throw to the outside. And the blitz, it was intended for Jeffrey Noble, but William McKnight came with the blitz.
Excellent call by Coach Polk. You get him into a 3rd and 4 situation, bring pressure. We're going to make him throw the ball quick. And what people always think when they see a blitz, they think you have to get a sack. You don't have to get a sack. If you force a bad throw, especially on 3rd down, you've accomplished your goal. You have him in a punting situation. So that was a very effective blitz by Morehouse and Coach Polk.
Degazan back in to punt it. His first punt traveled a total of 8 yards. This is his second on 4th and 4.
I think they're coming for it, Charlie.
Ravenel Dupree is the deep man for the Maroon Tigers. Much better kick this time. Dupree from the 24. He is quick and elusive, but they don't let him get loose. He's down at the 29. First down and 10. 3rd possession of the afternoon for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse, and they'll start from their own 29. No score with 6 seconds to go here in the first half. They'll run one play, and then we'll be at the end of the first quarter. So their first drive started, and they drove down to the Benedict 20. They punted. The last drive, they drove to the Benedict 26, and they attempted a 43-yard field goal, which was wide. This is the 3rd offensive possession for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse, led by Carlos King, sophomore quarterback out of Albany, Georgia. Said a lot of schools were after him. Fort Valley, Albany State, of course, but he won. You know how kids want to leave home like you did, Eddie. It's get out of New Orleans, right?
They can go to Atlanta.
A gain of about 7 on the play for J.D. Washington. It'll be 2nd down and 3 as we come to the end of 1 quarter here in Atlanta. First football game of the 2005 football season. When we come back, it'll be the Maroon Tigers with the football.
For over 135 years, Benedict College has nurtured the lives of thousands of young people who are destined to become a power for good in society. We are one of the largest private undergraduate colleges in South Carolina, yet our student-to-teacher ratio is only 19-to-1. Our esteemed faculty members help each student to discover their own potential, lessons that will last a lifetime. Call us or visit us online to enroll in South Carolina's premier private college, Benedict College.
Excuse me, gentlemen. You're in our seats?
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. These are ours.
I don't think so. Fine. You guys want to be jerks about it?
Unbelievable.
You drafted too many players from your favorite team.
Yeah, loyalty will kill ya.
Seriously, this is odd. Can't you see that we're part of some guy's fantasy and he's controlling our every action? Here, why don't we just have a pillow fight?
Actually, a pillow fight won't engender the camaraderie that ESPN Fantasy Football does. In fact, oh, Sandy!
ESPN Fantasy Football. Play for free at ESPN.com/fantasyfootball.
At book club.
Is that presentation finished?
It's called the alternative minimum tax.
I get a lollipop!
I know it's your sister's shower, but tomorrow's the club championship.
Mom, Victor and I are moving in together. Can I get a dog?
Mike Hall back here in the ESPNU studios. Here's a look at what's coming up later on in ESPNU. Next Thursday, SEC and ACC as Vanderbilt visits Wake Forest. The following night, Terry Hepner makes his debut as Indiana head coach. And keep in mind, each week we'll have a Thursday night game and 4 games every Saturday. For now, back to quarter number 2.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. A lot of football here as we start the second quarter. You know, when Coach Terry Buford came in, Eddie, he brought in a different type of offensive philosophy, the no huddle and things like that. And we talked to Carlos King about the difficulty in adjusting to that type of an offense going without a huddle. He said it's no worse than what? A 2-minute drill, right?
Exactly. And he said in high school that they actually ran a no huddle offense, so he had some experience with it. I said, where do you keep your plays at? He said, they're all in my head. So hopefully he won't take a hard hit because he'll lose everything.
He doesn't have them on his wrist, believe me. First down, make it second down, 2nd and 4. Play action. King lets it go, incomplete. A little short of the intended receiver, the tight end, Theodore Mentor.
And that's a good play action. It doesn't hurt a lot. I mean, he has an incomplete pass. He needs to throw that. That's an open receiver, a guy that you want to complete for the first time, but you're still in the 3rd and 3 situation. As you can tell, they're going to use some play action. He's only 1 of 5 so far. He just needs to settle down, complete the short throws. He's not going to get a whole lot of attempts to go deep. They want him to throw between 10 and 20 yards tonight.
Little short control passes, 3rd down and 4. And we got a penalty. Somebody moved either on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. The line judge and the umpire threw the flags.
Prior to the snap, false start, 7 and 4 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remain 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 9 is, or 3rd and 7, we'll call it, or make it 3rd and 8. Which is it, Eric? 3rd and 8?
3rd and 2 long, Charlie. That's a huge difference. 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 8. And they don't want those type of penalties. In an opening game, you always have a tendency to have those big guys jump offside every now and then.
3rd down and 8. The ball at the 31-yard line. They're working from the shotgun this time. He's completed only 1 pass. This one he lets go, and it's complete for a first down. And it's Raymond Johnson. He's gone to him a couple of times, but this is the first time the two have connected. And it's a first down right at about the 47-yard line. Laris Curry had to make the stop defensively.
And we have a penalty on the play, but this is a great job of a young guy just staying in the pocket, hitting the guy that's moving on the run. That's just an excellent throw and catch. And he has a tendency to try and run, but on 3rd and 8, he realized, hey, I'm better off to try to complete this pass downfield into double coverage, I must add.
But they're going to get a penalty, and it's a holding, a defensive holding penalty. It may have been 2 penalties. Let's see. No, it is just 1. A defensive holding penalty against Benedict. It is refused. They'll take the result of the play, which will be first down and 10 at the 47. Their own 47. So the 2 completions for Carlos King, 2 of 6. That one was good for a first down.
And that's the kind of throw that can really help a young quarterback settle down and get into a rhythm and have a real productive night.
Ravenel, Dupree in motion. He wants to run it this time. Carlos King trying to go around the left side and nothing doing there as Dwight Jr. was there defensively, number 48, to make the stop.
If we take a look at that third down play once again, he takes the 7-step drop. And what I like about it is he didn't force the run. He stepped up, found the lane, and he still hit Raymond Johnson, who is his leading receiver. So he got the ball into the big guy's hand, the guy who makes the big plays for him. But he didn't panic. A lot of quarterbacks in that situation would have taken off running, but it's hard to get 9 yards, and you can throw for a 15-yard completion.
And they gained only one. It'll be 2nd down and 9. The pitch to J.D. Washington. Trying to turn the corner. Slips a couple tackles and gets to the 48-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play before Laris Curry, number 4, comes up with his 3rd tackle of the game.
We have another flag on the play.
All of a sudden, we got flag happy here. We were pretty penalty-free in the first quarter. In the second quarter, we've had 3 flags already.
Play, personal foul, number 95 on the defense, 15-yard, end of the run, automatic, first down.
McCausland, who's been the leading tackler for the Tigers of Benedict, picks up the personal foul, and they penalize him 15 yards, and he's over on the sideline talking things over to the coach about why I got that penalty.
And it's never a good time to get a 15-yard penalty, but when you have him in a 3rd and long situation, that's terrible. And he's been playing great today, and I guess that elbow must have got him the penalty and looked like
it was right here.
A little bit extra.
On number 53, that was the one that got him the penalty. Ross Thompson, a young man out of Houston, Texas, the center. 1st down and 10. J.D. Washington bounces to the outside. Still on his feet. New spin. And it's still on his feet. He may go all the way. He's down inside the 5.
Touchdown.
Let's see. Did they signal it? Nothing from the referee here. Nothing yet from the official. They're going to mark it out at about the 1-yard line. What a run by J.D. Washington. Jajir Bostic finally got him out of bounds. But what a spin move. And look at Denzel. Is he happy?
His mom and dad is excited up in the stands. He said his mom was his biggest fan. She used to tape his games in Little League. And you can see he's using all the buttons on the PlayStation joystick right here. He has the spin button, the circle, the triangle, the hard running, and now he's just trying to gut it out. And he even has the dive button, and he touches that pylon. I'd have gave him the touchdown if I'm the ref.
Running the ball, Carlos King, the quarterback. 35 yards was the distance that J.D. ran that time. As we look at it once again, this is the spin move you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's great vision. I mean, the Benedict guys, they're just really grabbing for air at this point. And he has a lot of speed. I mean, he's not just an inside runner. He can do inside and outside. And he reached for that pylon with a nose for the end zone. He was real close to getting that touchdown.
The deepest penetration by either team tonight. They're down at the 1. Cowens is the up back in the eye. J.D. Washington, the second back. J.D. has it into the gut. Nothing yet from the official either side. Now finally the line judge comes in and signals touchdown Morehouse.
And he deserves it.
J.D. Washington with the touchdown. He had 8 touchdowns a year ago. He had 12 touchdowns in 03.
And after the quarterback sneak on first down, coach isn't going to get cute. He's going to give it to his big guy, the guy who got him down there, just let him plunge in the middle. Mom and dad are extremely happy.
Adam Williams for the point after to try to make it a 7-0 ball game, and it is no good. He missed it. He's missed a field goal from 43 out. He just missed an extra point. But Morehouse gets on the board first, and they have a 6-0 advantage. Denzel Pauletta. Thing is the score here in Atlanta. The Morehouse Maroon Tigers have gotten on the scoreboard first. J.D. Washington, there he is on the sideline. A 70-yard drive, 8 plays, and J.D. Washington with a 1-yard run with 2:55. That's the amount of time they used on that drive. On their 3rd possession of the day. But the point after was missed by Adam Williams. He was 15 of 19 in point afters a year ago. There you see him there. He's already missed a 43-yard field goal and an extra point. So he's 0 for so far this season.
Tough to kick with these lights on.
Siders at the 6. Siders trying to get to the outside into the corner, but he's not going to get there as Marquise Horn made the stop.
And Marquise Horn, he was the R1, which we call the R1. He's all the way on the right side of the screen, and you can see he's just knifing in there. And he's a track guy. Coach said he has 4.18 speed. You usually don't see wide receivers on kickoff teams, but with that type of speed, they feel like he's a guy that can run down a kick returner across the field. He did an excellent job of chasing that ball down and getting it inside the 20.
Runs the 100, the 200, and the 4-by relay. So yeah, he's gonna catch you
every time.
First down and 10. Andre Sumner is in the backfield right now. Tremaine Lyle keeping the ball on first down. Pickup of about 3. Make it 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
What Benedict needs to do is just settle back down. They're still in the game. They're only down 7. Just keep going with their down 6. Yeah, they missed that extra point. Just keep running the ball, get the play action, and they'll get a big play here or there.
Scott started at fullback as the up back in the I. Going to the opposite side. The quarterback, he decides to take off with it, Tremaine Lyle. And Lyle is up to the 29-yard line, very close to a first down before Aaron Epps made the stop defensively. Number 5. Make that number 9, Aaron Epps, rather.
Design run pass option. He makes the big guy miss. Makes the second guy miss. He's a good runner once he gets moving. But at some point, Benedict is going to have to try a deep pass because Morehouse is going to sit with 8, 9 men at the line of scrimmage. They know that Benedict wants to run this ball and complete the sharp passes. So unless they really test them deep to make these cornerbacks back up, they're going to all crowd the line of scrimmage and stop the run.
They certainly will. In his first down, though, on that run by Lyle. And here's Sumner. Make that 24 carrying. Yeah, that's Sumner on the carry. Juan Holmes on the stop defensively. Number 96. And here you look at number 9, Epps. He's quite a story himself.
He was a fullback last year, Charlie.
Yes, he was.
And now he's a strong safety.
Well, actually, he didn't play last year. It was 03, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Is when he played the fullback and moved over to the defensive side of the ball. A health and physical education major out of Aiken, South Carolina. Second down. Lyle looking like he wants to throw it. Decides to take off and run, and he's almost beheaded in front of his own bench by Robert Harris, number 20.
Yeah, that was Robert Harris, who's always around the ball, and our guy Epps. And remember, in small college, guys play a lot of different positions. You may be a fullback when you come here, or you may just be an athlete when you come here. And if you want to get on the football field, you have to be flexible. So that's a good job by him saying, hey, coach, what do I need to do to get on the football field? And the strong safety is my position, and I'll give it a go.
Right. Yeah. You're playing. That's all that matters,
That's
right?
all that matters.
How many positions did you play, Eddie?
Oh, man, I started out as an offensive guard, Charlie. That's a secret that I don't tell too many people.
I can understand it. It is 3rd down and 1. From the I formation straight ahead. It was Andre Sumner on the carry. Holmes, number 96, to stop defensively. Let's see if he had enough for the first down. It's going to be close. They say yes. 1st and 10. Keeping the ball on the ground control. Lyle has thrown only 3 passes today. He's completed 1. Shannon Sharp is at the game. Cordell Stewart at the game tonight. Cordell Stewart, and here's Shannon. Cordell with his son and his sire. He's holding him. You see Shannon Sharp. They both came down and helped out a little bit before the season started. Is Elijah Clark, where Shannon Sharp is a product of the SIAC that played his collegiate ball at Savannah State at the time they were in the conference. Charles Prescott, number 97 on the stop defensively. Here everybody comes to the house.
Everybody comes to the house. Actually, Shannon and Cordell Stewart, especially Cordell, he was here helping guys out, giving them a little pointers, working out with these guys as he was trying to stay in shape during the offseason. And so they're here in support, but these are guys that they actually worked out with from Morehouse.
Lyle on the play action decides to pull it down because the heat was coming, and he got right to the midfield stripe. Should be enough for another first down for the Tigers of Benedict before Jarek Witt, number 7, came up to make the stop. The SIAC was founded way back in 1913, I should say. There are 10 schools currently playing football in the SIAC. They're in Division II, and they're under the direction of Dr. William Lyde. He's the commissioner, and some of the most distinguished alumni. Deacon Jones, who went on to play many years in the NFL from South Carolina State. Alice Coachman, first Olympian from a black school to win an Olympic gold medal from Tuskegee. Went on to go back and coach. Althea Gibson, the tennis player from Florida A&M, along with baseball's Andre Dawson. And, of course, right here at Morehouse, Edwin Moses. The track itself is named the Edwin Moses Track. Even though we're not in the stadium for Edwin Moses, it's the B.T. Harvey Stadium, but Edwin Moses Track. There's his name right there on the track.
When Edwin Moses was in college, they didn't have a track, so he actually had to work out at the local high schools when he was training for the Olympics.
1st and 15. After the penalty, throws it incomplete. Brad Jackson, and now we got a late flag. It may be against Benedict or Morehouse. DeJuan Holmes may have come in and hit the quarterback a little late.
Yeah, personal foul, roughing the passer, on your defense, 96, 15-yard, previous spot foul, automatic, first down.
So it is a defensive penalty against DeJuan Holmes, the biology major from Ellenwood, Georgia. You see it right there. He drilled him, and the referee was right there to catch it. Our referee tonight is Rod Holloway, being assigned the officials by the SIAC, their supervisor, Dr. Moses Norman. It is first down to the 41-yard line of Morehouse, the Benedict Tigers. 7:32 remaining in the second quarter. Play action again, or as a handoff. That's not play action. He kept the ball, and it is Elijah Clark. Elijah Clark with a big run before Robert Harris, number 20, made the stop. Defensively, I'll tell you, Lyle did a great job. He fooled me up here. I thought he still had the ball. And all of a sudden, here was Knight off and running. Look at him.
And Knight just hits it straight up the middle. That's a worst nightmare for a safety when the guy's coming full speed up the middle and you can't pick a side because he has both ways to go. And at that situation, the definition of a good open field tackle is just get him down.
That's right. 23 yards on the run by Knight. Oh. I should say by Clark. Well, there's Clark again. Elijah Clark down to the 15-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. William McKnight, number 44, on the stop defensively.
Now, Elijah Clark was the guy that Coach told us was banged up, but he's running through there pretty full speed right now. So.
He had 55 yards against Morehouse last year when these two teams met. 10-7 was the final score. As you look at Terry Buford on the sideline. His team's back against the wall right now. Deepest penetration of the day for the Tigers of Benedict. All the way down to the 15 of Morehouse. Here's the option to the right side or left side as you look at it.
And what's interesting about this drive, similar to the Morehouse drive, if you remember, the big guy McClawson has a 15-yard penalty on 3rd down. All of a sudden, J.D. comes with a long run, and they get into scoring position. It's the same situation here. Morehouse guy has a 15-yard penalty, and they based after that 15-yard penalty, they're able to have a big run, and now they're in scoring position again. So those big guys are kind of costing their teams with those penalties. That's a huge difference when you're at the 40 and then you're at the 25-yard line and you're in the scoring zone all of a sudden.
You saw a shot of number 95, Henry Bailey there. His grandmother went to Benedict College, but he's decided to matriculate to Morehouse. Here's McKnight again, or I should say Clark, Elijah Clark on the carry. And Clark has the first down. It'll be first and goal at the 4-yard line. Clark out of Hawkinsville, Georgia. Last year, 276 yards rushing. He averaged 6.6 yards every time he touched the ball.
And you can see why. The guy is explosive. He's a downhill runner. He doesn't think a lot about where he's hitting the hole, kind of like Terrell Davis. When he sees days like, he goes to the goalpost, and that's what you like in a runner. He probably doesn't have a lot of negative plays because he's always going downhill real fast.
We said we would see all three running backs. We've seen Noble, Sumner, and now Elijah Clark carrying the mail for the Tigers of Benedict. And here's Clark again, but he's tripped up in the backfield before he could get anywhere by William McKnight out of Duluth, Georgia. That's the 4th tackle for the middle linebacker, number 44.
And if you're going to stop a downhill runner, you have to penetrate and catch him on his side of the ball, and that's what he did that time. He didn't wait for him to make a decision. He made a decision for the running back. But this guy, I really like him. He goes downhill real fast, Clark does, and I'll keep him in the game a little bit more if I was coach.
Certainly would. William McKnight, the engineering major out of Duluth, Georgia. A junior, 6'1", 215. There is a second down. Second and goal from the 6. Here's the pass, incomplete. A flag, late flag comes down. And it was Johnny Eubanks, the pass intended for LaMarcus Nero, number 87, the junior out of Columbia, South Carolina, number 21, was draped all over him. And so we're going to get an interference call.
Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
They're going to mark it down to the 3-yard line. Let's see if we can see it again, Eddie.
Well, my coach told me if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, but here he got caught. So he had both hands on him, and he really easy call by the referee here. And I don't think he would have caught the ball either way, so he probably didn't need to hold him in that situation. But when you're scrambling for coverage, you don't know that.
Nobles back in the lineup. There's the second back in the eye. Nobles has the football, and Nobles is in the end zone. Touchdown, Benedict College. Jeffrey Nobles, the junior, leading rusher on this team a year ago with 604 yards. Scored a pair of touchdowns. He had 68 yards against Morehouse. And now for the point after, Digazon. He was 12 of 13 a year ago in PATs. And he hit it. And Benedict takes a 7-6 lead with 4:23 remaining here in the second quarter. The mail carried down the field by Clark. Nobles put it in the end zone, and we'll be back. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson back here at B.T. Harvey Stadium on the campus of Morehouse College in Atlanta, where the Tigers of Benedict have just taken a 7-6 lead. And great scoring drive, 14 plays, 81 yards, and they use 7:41 off the clock.
And that scoring drive was set up by that 15-yard personal foul penalty on number 96 Holmes from Morehouse.
Russ and Horn, the deep people. It'll come down to Russ. Russ trying to get it along the sideline, and he's finally bounced out of bounds at about the 22-23 yard line. Uric Blaze with the stop defensively. 7-6 our score, as you see Cordell Stewart, Shannon Sharp, a pair of good ones on the sideline here. All-Star week here in Atlanta, isn't it?
Always.
And here's Eddie Rowe on a little flea flicker, and it's complete in the middle of the field to Johnson, and Johnson is up. His knee hit the ground. Titus Curry brought him down, but we have a flag in the backfield, and let's see what we have. Is it holding? It may be. I see the dejection on the face of Carlos King. Holding against Morehouse. Raymond Johnson had his little flea flicker with Eddie Rowe.
That's those tricky Tigers in excellent play. I mean, good throw, good completion. Unfortunately, guys just tugged the jersey a little bit at the line of scrimmage.
Number 53, the center who starts it all, Ross Thompson, who came to Morehouse because of his brother. His brother came here, his older brother, but he didn't play football. His brother was in the band. And he's now the starting center, number 53.
I'm glad Ross is on the football field because he's a big guy. And I would hate to see a big guy like that carrying around a tuba or something.
And is Eddie Rowe on the carry again. Let's go over to the U studio at Mike Hall. Mike?
All right, thanks, Charlie. Coming up at the U halftime report, we'll talk to you guys back out there at the stadium as we'll see a battle of the band between Morehouse and Benedict. We'll ask Tom and Steve which team will beat USC, and we'll introduce you to someone who many consider the best high school quarterback in the land. But now back to Charlie and Eddie.
All right. Look forward to that at halftime. It is second down after the penalty. Second and 18. Carlos King with the ball. Has some running room around the left side. And dives forward. Before Carl Spellman tripped him up. And they're going with the no-huddle offense now, Eddie.
Good play action with Carlos King. And when we talked to him yesterday, we asked him what player he most liked to emulate as a quarterback. And he said Steve Young. See here, he's just like a Steve Young. He's running all over the place. The guys are scrambling. Second and very long situation, he's still able to get that first down.
That's the tight end, Mentor. Theodore Mentor out of Atlanta, Georgia. He normally is a starting fullback. They moved him over to the tight end spot because Scorpio Brown, the young man who had transferred from Hampton University at tight end, was not eligible to play in today's game. So Mentor starts at the tight end spot. They move Marcus Cowens up to the fullback. It is a first down. What a scramble that time by the quarterback. This time again they keep the ball on the ground with Eddie Rowe, the senior out of Atlanta. Carl Spellman again on the stop, number 6 defensively.
I like what Coach Buford is doing right here. He's not really in a true 2-minute mode, even though we were at 2 minutes and 58 seconds on the clock. What you don't want to do is to give Benedict a chance to get in their 2-minute ball game. So you still want to work the clock a little bit, but at the same time, you want to pick up the pace so you can still get in scoring position before the half ends.
And we've seen we're working from the shotgun, and we'll talk about it after this play. A different set of running backs in the last series here. And this pass is complete up to the 46-yard line to Marquise Horn, the track guy we were talking about earlier on special teams. And it moves the chains. It's another first down, but we've seen J.D. Washington out of the lineup. He had 63 of the team's yards going into this drive, 63 of their 88 yards. And then we saw Eddie Rowe come into the lineup. First down and 10. Working out of the shotgun again. The clock down to 2:24 in the first half. 7-6 ball game. This was a design run by the quarterback. He's still on his feet. Will he get away? And he's still on his feet. He loses yards. He loses about 5 as Chaz Harris was relentless. Number 46. He got the sack.
In this situation, it's a good play. It's a design quarterback draw. You have 5 wide receivers. You're trying to trick them, but they just didn't fool Benedict on this play. And what the young kid needs to learn is I'm a quarterback. They need me all year long. I can't win the game on this one scramble.
3 wide receivers to the left of the formation. Here's a little screen, and that was a lateral. That might have been behind him. I believe this may go for a touchdown. Here's Paul Spellman, who finally dropped at about the 5-yard line, but that may have been a lateral pass. It was behind. It was a backward pass. Jeremy Majors finally coming up to make the stop, but they did not hold on to that ball.
That's a huge mistake by Morehouse. This is just a simple play. It's almost like an extension of the running game. They're just trying to run a bubble screen to the outside, and he threw it behind the guy just a little bit. It's a lateral, like you said.
Majors was the man it was intended for, and then Jeremy Majors has to come down and make the stop on Carl Spellman.
It wasn't a great throw, but it's a ball. You have to catch that ball in that situation, or at least get on top of it, because you can't leave a live ball laying in the backfield.
First turnover of the ball game, and it's chalked up against Morehouse. First down, first and goal. Quarterback Tremaine Lyle, nowhere to go. Little indecision that time as number 7 Jarek Witt on the defensive side of the ball made the stop. And there you see Spellman. Spellman may be the hero. He was the number 5 tackle on this team a year ago. He had 6 solo tackles a year ago in this game against Morehouse.
That was a very alert play, because a lot of times guys will have that play that's almost a lateral, they're not sure, and instead of picking it up and making the referee make the call, they'll freeze and won't do anything. He played through the play, picked the ball up, and got his team in a scoring position right now.
This time the ball handed off to Sumner.
And in this situation, Benedict is still trying to work the clock. They don't want to give Morehouse any chance to score, but I think they may have to go into the air in this situation, or either get the quarterback in a rollout type of situation where he can have a run-pass option. They have a big physical running game, so they're trying to pound it on this play, but I think at this time you have to get him out the pocket, give him a chance to use his legs as well as his arm.
And you see the clock ticking down, 27 seconds. They don't seem to be in a hurry. In fact, I guess they figured to either score, call a timeout, and go for the field goal, if nothing else.
Yeah, they want to end the half on this possession.
Back to pass. Thrown. Incomplete. No flag. Intended for Gerald Robinson. Joe Robinson, they have a lot of hopes for him, the junior out of Charleston, South Carolina, who led the team in receiving a year ago with 16 catches. Couldn't get it this time.
And it was a tough catch, but I would have liked the quarterback to get out of the pocket more. I mean, you can see how good he is as a scrambler. And Gerald Robinson is the big play receiver. He's the guy that coach told us to look out for. But it's a tough catch in that situation. They're trying to hit him with the inside slants, but you want to get him out of the pocket so he can still have that run-pass option, especially the type of threat that Tremaine Lyle is.
So, coming on is Martin Degazan. Degazan has never hit a field goal in his career. He's 0 for 5. He had a 47-yard attempt a year ago, blocked by Morehouse in the third quarter. He was 0 for 3 in that game against Morehouse College.
What do you think is going through his mind, Charlie?
Well, we need a holder. I think that's what's going through his mind. This will be a 20-yard attempt. Finally, Lyle comes off the sideline, the quarterback. He's going to hold it.
You can always do the old drop kick.
It's up. It has got the distance, and it is good. So he hit it. Degazan, who started the game with an 8-yard punt, and he finally comes away with a field goal with 4 seconds to go in the first half, and he gives his team a 10-6 edge. But you have to go back to that play, the lateral pass, the backward pass that was recovered and picked up by Spellman, who took it down to the 5-yard line, and here's the field goal. A very happy Martin Degazan from St. Lucia in the Virgin Islands, a sophomore at 5'9", 175 pounds. And Benedict has taken the advantage right here. What a strange turn of events. It looked like Morehouse was going to march down the field and maybe regain the lead. They led first in the ball game 6-0, but You make mistakes, they come back and hurt you.
Yeah, but when you get the ball and your defense is going on the field on your own 3-yard line, if you only give up 3 points, you just won that battle. Now, you don't want to get in that situation too many times, but they could also be down an extra 4 points. They could be down 14-6. So I think that's a win for Morehouse defense in that situation.
4 seconds is the time remaining. Long kick. Ravenel Dupree. He'll bring it out from a yard in the end zone. And he's down at the 20. That's going to be the end of the first half. Fred Thomas, number 56, made sure he stayed down. As they go to the locker room, the Tigers from Benedict in Columbia, South Carolina, they go in with a 10-6 lead. Morehouse struck first. J.D. Washington with a 1-yard run. Then Nobles with 4:23. This all came in the second quarter for Benedict with a 3-yard run. Made it 7-6 as they made the extra point that was missed earlier by Morehouse. And then Degazan with the 20-yard field goal with 4 seconds left in the half. And that's the way we stand at halftime. 10-6. And Coach Hendrick is with us at halftime. And Coach, what do you have to say about what happened in the first half? So far, so good, huh?
Well, we got to do a better job on defense. It looks like number one is better than us right now. We got to do a better job attacking number one. And we can't get in situations when we got him a long yard situations, getting personal foul penalties, dead ball personal fouls. We did more in this first half to hurt ourselves than anything. And we just got to do a better job in the second half of playing defense, and I think we'll be okay.
Coach, you have to be happy with your kicker, Martin. He came up in here. He had trouble on the first punt. He bounced back with a 40-yard punt and made an extra point and a field goal for you.
Well, I love Martin. Martin is a kid that walked on last year from a soccer play. He never kicked football in his life, and he's made a great progress from that point till now, and I got a bunch of confidence in him. And that first kick was his first punt ever in his life in the game. So I really like what he's doing, and I really think he's going to be good as the get better as season progresses.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach. We'll see you in the second half. It's halftime here at Morehouse with the score. Morehouse 6, Benedict 10. Now let's go back to the ESPNU studios and join Mike Hall for the U halftime report.
The battle of the bands will be there. Benedict Tigers Band of Distinction you're watching right now. We'll have more from the bands and more from these guys right after this on ESPNU. Back out to Atlanta, still watching the Benedict Tigers Band of Distinction going. We're back in a bit. Here we go. Benedict and Morehouse is up 10-6 on Morehouse. Morehouse taking the field here on the bands. Let's listen in on them for a little bit. 10-6 at the half. We'll be back in just a little bit with more bands and our final wrapping up at halftime. Here is Martin Dagazan, kicker for Benedict. Made his first career field goal in the first half. What's in store for him in the second half?
McNair and John Stallworth have in common, they're some of the NFL's biggest stars, and they emerge from the best-kept secret in college football, historically black colleges and universities. ESPNU is proud to present HBCU football. Every week, experience the competition, the marching bands, and the excitement that is HBCU football. Watch Delaware State take on Florida A&M Saturday, September 3rd at 7 Eastern, only on ESPNU.
As we get ready for the second half here in Atlanta, college football primetime here on the U. Benedict leading 10-6. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson. And let's look at the first half stats from this particular game. And, you know, kind of an upset in the making right now, Eddie.
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't expect Benedict to be on top of Morehouse going on the road. Time of possession just about even, yards rushing. The big turnover is the difference. That led to 3 points by Benedict close to the end of the half.
And Benedict has scored on its last 2 possessions. Let's check out some of the highlights from the first half. Well, we'll check them out a little later on because we're getting ready to kick to start the second half. It'll be Benedict receiving the second half kickoff. And they're leading 10-6 in this ball game. So we got Brian Clark and Richard Siders, 81 and 89 respectively. Awaiting the second half kickoff of Adam Williams out of Marshall, Texas, the junior. Benedict has done an extremely good job in the kicking game. An extra point and a field goal. On the other side, Morehouse has not come through when they needed to. Here's Adams' kick. Coming down near sideline to Siders. Siders is through the line to the 40 and out of bounds in front of his own bench. Right at a slide of the 50-yard line, right at the 48. First half highlights for Benedict.
Here you see the touchdown by Mr. Nobles, number 36, hard plunge up inside. He's a real physical runner. And this is the big play of the game, the turnover. Carl Spellman heads up play, realizing that that ball was an actual lateral. He's on his horses, gets down to the 4-yard line, which leads to the 3-point field goal, and he's off the snide. Mr. Martin, his first kick ever that he's made as a collegiate.
First down and 10. 31-yard return by Siders. Great field position to start the second half of Benedict out of the I formation. Second back through, gets the call, and that'll be Jeffrey Nobles. Shurian Toy is in the lineup, number 91 defensively for Morehouse, and he made the stop. That's a story in itself. Hey, I'll tell you, one of the things about this young man, he was last 2 years he spent over in Iraq, not as a member of the military, but as a civilian employee fueling tankers.
Tough kid, and he was right there in the midst of all the excitement and all the things that are going on over there. He was right in the middle of that.
And he's back here playing football. Just got back about a month ago. His mom and dad still in Iraq. It is second down and 8 after the 2-yard gain. And straight ahead goes Rashidi Scott, the running back, the fullback. That's the first time he has carried the ball today, and look who made the tackle. Shurian Toy. It was a matter of whether he was going to even play or dress today.
Yeah, he was up and down. We saw him yesterday. He said, hey, I'm going to be out there with my guys. I'm going to fight. And he's been here for a long time. This is actually his third coach, one of the few guys who was here with Coach Johnson's regime from a couple years ago. Big guy. They really need him to step up and make some plays into this third and fourth quarter.
Certainly do. Toy out of Decatur, Georgia, 6'4", 315, 23 years of age. It is 3rd and 6. Lyle, incomplete. Looked like a misread between him and his receiver. That was Brad Jackson, or 88.
And that's what you have to do if you're Morehouse. They had at least 8 or 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. And what you have to do is force these guys, get them into a 3rd and long situation, force them to pass the ball. At that point, Morehouse can tee off and blitz on 3rd down, make the quarterback have bad decisions.
So from the Morehouse 49, they will punt it away. Martin Dagazan, the coach says he loves this kid. He gets the snap. He gets off a pretty good kick. Ravenel Dupree signaling for the fair catch. He makes it at about the 17-yard line. Let's look at the Morehouse highlights from the first half.
I think you have to start with this run by J.D. Washington. Here you see number 23 from Benedict, Derek Crockett. You miss a tackle 3 times on one play. He almost gets in the end zone. Great play by him, and then he comes back, pounds it in there. He deserves to get that touchdown. Mom and dad is happy in the stands. And here's the quarterback. He needed a completion, and he's really settled down. He started off with about 5 incompletions. That was a good crossing route. He's not having a happy feet. He's sitting down in the pocket and showing that he can also be a pocket passer.
Morehouse College, 104 yards total. J.D. Washington has 63 of those yards. He did not have a 100-yard rushing game all of last year, even though he gained 800 yards rushing, as he gets the call this time, and he's stopped by number 48, Dwight Jr.
And Charlie, it was interesting. Remember, he had the first 10 yards, first 10 carries for only like 16 yards, and now he's getting that average up.
He's rolling.
And as the game goes on, trust me, when he gets to carry number 22 and 23 and up to number 30, that Benedict defense is going to be really tired, and they will not want to tackle him at that point.
Yeah, he'll be shifting gears. He's still in second gear right now. And he has the call ball once again. J.D. Washington, John David, and Lars Curry, number 4, on the stop defensively.
Now, I like what Coach Buford is doing. He's just kind of getting everybody settled down. He's not panicking. Hey, we're only down by 4 points. He's going to his big guy, J.D. Washington. Let him get a couple carries. Now you're in a 3rd and short situation, something that you can convert.
He's only had 4 100-yard games in his career, believe it or not, even though he had 1,100 yards a couple of years ago in his sophomore year, trying to get to the first down, and he's tripped up. Will not get there. Lars Curry, the linebacker, number 4. There you see him. He came up to make the stop out of Aiken, South Carolina. He had 4 solo tackles a year ago against Morehouse.
That's a good job by him, just shooting that gap and getting the play before it even gets started. Not letting J.D. get a chance to move left or right and fake him out.
Morehouse on the downside of a 4-point ball game, 10-6. Siders, the deep man, to receive the punt of Adam Williams. There he is, number 89. Richard Siders, freshman out of Walterboro, South Carolina. Here's the kick. Not a good one for Adam Williams. Takes a Morehouse bounce, though, and it bounces all the way down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. So that's where the Tigers will go to work when we come back after a 49-yard punt by Williams. Leading 10-6 here in the 3rd quarter, 11-14 remaining. Some famous alumni coming out of Benedict College, and of course there's a profile of the school, founded in 1870 with an enrollment of 2,500 students, and Dr. David H. Swinton is their president. And some famous alumni, Dr. Leroy Walker, who very famous track coach and Olympic coach, and Jimmy Greenwald, Simon Brownlee, and Jim Gray, not the announcer, but all who have earned their keep either in NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball, as Robert Harris, number 20, came up to make the stop on Tremaine Lau, but not before he picked up the first down to the 41-yard line. Watch the stick here.
Well, this is an excellent call by Benedict. Everybody's bunched inside, but watch the hit by Robert Harris. And they always say you're either going to be the bug or the windshield.
In that case, I would rather be the windshield.
Always want to be the windshield. Robert Harris was the windshield in that situation.
First down and 10.
Quarterback has to slide sometime. Even though you're running an option, you can still slide.
Jeff Nobles, the second back in the eye. Scott, the up back. He goes to Nobles. Nobles bounces off in the cross midfield, or 45 rather, to about the 46-yard line before Charles Prescott, number 97, made the stop defensively.
And here you're just going to see a real methodical game by Benedict. They have a 10-6 lead. They're on the road. The game is going exactly how they like it. They're going to run option. They're going to run all of their 3 big running backs, Nobles, Elijah Clark, Sumner. And then at some time, you're going to see a small bit of play action.
It is second down. 2nd and 6. There's the pass, too high for the intended receiver, Isaiah Tyndall, and it'll bring up a 3rd down situation. Don't forget, next Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPNU, college football continues as the Vanderbilt Commodores of the SEC take on ACC's Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with the U. College football prime time on ESPNU Thursday night. For more information, just log on to ESPNU.com. Third down statistics for Benedict. They are 3 of 6, 50% tonight. Both teams 4 of 8 for Morehouse. This is the 4th third down situation that the Tigers of Benedict have faced this evening. Here's the option by the quarterback, Lyle, and he has nowhere to go this time as Woodrow Vereen came up to make the stop.
This is an excellent job by Morehouse. They're putting everybody on the line of scrimmage. I like the way Coach Polk is calling his game going into the third and fourth quarter. He's going to challenge Benedict to beat him in the air. He's going to stack up the run. He's going to blitz on every third down and just try to force a mistake. And they have nobody past 10 yards. Everybody's up at the 5-yard mark. It's almost like goal line. Yeah. And those guys just playing real physical because they know that Benedict is going to run the ball. So you have to get up there and get ready to stop the run. If you're playing past this situation, you're not very smart.
4th down. Degazan kicking to Ravenel Dupree. And a flag. Either too much time. No, the clock went down, so let's see. Maybe we may have had some movement. Number 48. Let's see.
Prior to the snap, false start, 48 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remain 4th down.
That's James Reinhardt, or I should say 48 on the offensive side of the football for Benedict. That is Dwight Jr., redshirt sophomore. So to bring up a 4th down, punting situation remains. Ravenel Dupree is the deep man.
Real tough kid. Let's see if he can get something going on this punt return.
I tell you, he could excite this crowd and maybe change the momentum of this ball game. He didn't call for the fair catch.
Said he's tough.
Yeah. He's going crazy. 8:49 the time remaining. We're in the third quarter, and Benedict still holding on to a 4-point advantage over the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse.
This fall, ESPN has got your game. More than 150 extra college football games with the exclusive ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package. To order, call your cable or satellite provider. Also available online. Order at ESPN.com, keyword Game Plan.
You drafted too many players from your favorite team.
Yeah, loyalty will kill you. Seriously, this is odd. Can't you see that we're part of some guy's fantasy and he's controlling our every action? Here, why don't we just have a pillow fight?
Actually, a pillow fight won't engender the camaraderie that ESPN Fantasy Football does. In fact, oh, Sandy!
ESPN Fantasy Football. Play for free at ESPN.com/fantasyfootball.
Is that presentation finished?
It's called the alternative minimum tax.
I get a lollipop!
I know it's your sister's shower, but tomorrow's the club championship.
Mom, Victor and I are moving in together. Can I get a dog?
(10-6) is the score here in Atlanta, Georgia, as you look at the first-year head coach of the Morehouse Maroon Tigers, Terry Buford. And we said earlier in the game, here's a young man who's lucky to be standing here. And the reason he's standing here is because of the young man he's shaking hands with, Dr. Michael Starziak. Back in June, Coach was traveling back from Virginia. He had been assistant coach at Hampton University, was on his way back to campus on Interstate 85. He was coming through Charlotte, North Carolina, was involved in a very serious automobile accident in which he's lucky to be alive. Dr. Michael Starziak was in a car who was following Coach Buford's car when the car was involved in the accident, and he helped save Coach Buford, and Coach Buford is forever thankful.
Yeah, definitely. It was a real life-changing experience, and he came back 2 weeks later, really impressed all of his coaches and players to have that type of dedication to come back and work after such an accident.
It certainly did. As Carlos King is going to the air and has it complete, first completion to Corey Russ, and Russ brought down by number 48, Dwight Jr.
And Carlos has really settled down. He's just doing a real good job. I mean, they're just throwing basic routes. One guy's going to the flat, another guy's running to the curl. This is the type of thing you do in Little League football, and he's hitting the guy right between the numbers. That's what you want out your quarterback right now.
We talked about Dr. Michael Starziak. He's up at Emory University here in Atlanta and just happened to be coming down the same highway with Coach.
Good Samaritan, real fortunate.
Some things are just meant to be, right?
Yep.
Here's J.D. Washington. Picking off another big run, gain of 10 before Javaris Atkinson, 34, makes the stop defensively for Benedict, but it's a first down across midfield for Morehouse.
And this is an old Hampton play. What they're doing, they get into 4 wide receivers, make everybody think pass, spread everybody out, and just let J.D. pick his chance. And you can see the big guys, they're really getting some pancakes at the end right here, and they're just being real physical. There's a guy, put him on his big number. You don't want to have that as a defensive player.
Carlos King running for his life right now. Decides to turn the corner, gets a peel back
on the move,
and now he cuts it back inside, still on his feet, down inside the 25 to the 21-yard line before number 56, Fred Thomas, makes the stop.
And just that quick, Morehouse is back in the scoring position, and they're back into the game. Carlos is making an extremely good decision. He knows when to run and when to throw the ball. Here, just a simple rollout, and he's making all the right decisions. The pressure is up the middle. Hey, use your feet, get out of the pocket. Don't sit there like a sitting duck, make people miss, and get across the 20-yard line.
Got a good peel back block. I couldn't see the number of who completed that block. But I'll tell you, it made a difference. He was able to pick up some valuable yards. Now there's a timeout. Benedict decides, or maybe Morehouse. Morehouse calls this one with 7:51 remaining in the third. 10-6 the score here as the Morehouse Maroon Tigers are on the move. This drive started at their own 27. They're down to the 21 of Benedict right now. One of the reasons is the play of this drive of the quarterback. There he is, Carlos King, 110 yards in the game so far, combined passing and rushing.
And that's what he's doing. He's making the right decisions. He has 61 yards rushing. Some of the plays are designed. Some of them are him just feeling the heat in the kitchen and getting out and taking off running. Here you see a little play action. Nobody's open. I'm going to get out of there and get moving. And he turns into a runner. What he's doing is he's really managing the game. He's not making any bad decisions. He had the one play that was a lateral by mistake. But other than that, he's doing everything right. And he can win this game, not just in the air, but also on the ground.
Marcus Cowens, the fullback, with the 2 setbacks behind the quarterback, Carlos King, out of Albany, Georgia. He talks about the run, play action type offense that they like to do. Very indicative of what Coach Buford had up at Hampton. And here's the play action that didn't to J.D. Washington, but this time it didn't work. That was the play action, and Carl Spellman, who's been all over the place, who accounted and helped account for that last field goal by Benedict College, came in to make the stop defensively. There he is, Spellman.
And that's a great play. I mean, you have to make an open field tackle on a guy like Carlos. When you get him down, that is a great play, and also for a loss. Now, it's real hard for Morehouse to get a first down when they're in a 2nd and 20-something situation. Their offense, or no offense, is catered for that.
2nd and about 22. From the shotgun. Moving people around. That is Carlos King. Low snap, gets it up. Now he's going to take off running.
There he goes.
He's got a room. He's got some room. He's still on his feet. And he's down inside the 10 for a first down at the 9-yard line. First and goal before Gerard Washington and Trevin Richardson, number 2 and 21 respectively, make the stop.
And what you have to do defensively for Benedict, you have to start pass rushing in your lanes. These guys are just running all over the place. I mean, everybody, look at big 95. He's pushed over to the other guy, McClawson. You have to stay in your lane. When you have a guy like Carlos who can take off at any time from the quarterback position, you can't just rush out of control. You have to almost control rush.
J.D. Washington down to the 7-yard line. Gain of 2.
And I would expect you have some type of situation here. I would like to see at least one rollout where you can get Carlos King on the edge with a chance to throw a touchdown or run a touchdown. Keep the ball in his hands because he's making the big plays for you tonight.
Eddie, we talked about the coach coming back quickly from that serious accident that he was involved in. We talked to some of the players yesterday. They said just seeing him has inspired them so much they would die for him.
Yeah, especially J.D. Washington especially was like, man, when you see a coach come back in that situation, a life and death situation, and he's back at practice, he's back watching you guys work out when he really didn't have to be back that soon. It's like they would go out on the field and run through a brick wall or do whatever he asked. And you can see the momentum and the way these guys are playing. They're really playing for the coach. He almost likened it to the Patriots situation where you have, players who are really putting everything for the team and not for themselves.
145 teams in Division II football, and last year Benedict, even though they won only 3 games, was still ranked 21st in total defense in the nation.
That's good.
Here's J.D. Washington trying to turn the corner, and again nowhere to go as Carl Spellman, who's been all over the field, number 6, comes up to make the stop.
And this is what you like from your defense. Everybody's running to the ball. You have 11 guys heading to the ball. He makes the first man miss. That's not a sin if everybody else can get there and see 3 guys around all at one time.
John David is a little sore, a little slow getting up. And he's not in the lineup right now. They brought Eddie Rowe in there. He had been bothered with a groin. He said he's okay. Eddie Rowe had a back problem. But Eddie Rowe has the ball right now. And Eddie Rowe is down near the goal line, stopped at the 1. That was a 3rd down situation, 3rd and goal. And Javaris Atchison on the stop defensively. As you look at JD's parents up in the stands. Here's the running back. Boy, I'll tell you, he unloaded on somebody.
And that's how you finish. That's like a Walter Payton. When you actually finish and you want to go forward at the end of the run.
They're going for it on 4th and goal. Here's the running back and see if they give it to him.
They give it to him.
Touchdown. Eddie Rowe.
And that was very close. Thank goodness there's not a replay.
It certainly was. Because I don't know. He got the ball across, but I think his knee may have touched down before he got that ball across. Titus Curry, number 47, was the man who hit him there at the end, but it doesn't matter as Eddie Rowe takes it in from a yard out. Here for the point after. The drama of kicking the extra point for Morehouse as Adam Williams, who's missed a field goal and an extra point tonight, will try to put a point on the board here. This time he's good.
It's good. He needed that one because it's a 3-point lead now and not a 2-point ball game.
13-10 is our score. 5:20 remaining, 3rd quarter. Up to this point, all the scoring had been in the 2nd quarter. Will we get young Mr. Eddie Rowe, the senior from Atlanta, who had a touchdown a year ago rushing, health and physical education major on 110 yards. He averaged 2.8 yards per carry, and he came up with a touchdown tonight.
And over on the sideline, you see J.D. Washington there working on his ankle. He may just need another tape job. So Mr. Rowe may get a couple more carries, and he's a downhill runner and real good change of pace from J.D. Washington. So I think they'll still be okay if they have to put Rowe in there and let him run the ball a couple times going into this 3rd and 4th quarter. And he's having a good, productive night. I know he's happy that his team is up. I mean, he wants to get back out. They look like they're just retaping that ankle. And he's a tough kid. When you talked to him yesterday, he puts a lot of credit to his mom. He said his mom really had him grounded, that he knows the value of $1. Charlie says he even borrows a couple bucks from his teammates sometimes.
He's saying, what is Hollywood lifestyle? Everybody thinks, I live this Hollywood lifestyle. He said, I've got to come out and borrow from my teammates every now and then. And they kick this one out of bounds. It'll be a penalty situation against Morehouse. Do they want to kick it over, or do they want to take the ball? The last scoring drive was a 9-play, 72-yard affair that used 3:29 off the clock. Morehouse led 6-0 in the ball game, just to recap the scoring, with 12-12 left in the 2nd quarter. But 8 minutes later, it was Benedict getting on the scoreboard on a 3-yard run by Nobles. They made it 10-6 with 4 seconds left in the 1st half on Degazan's 20-yard field goal, and then Rowe just scored on a 1-yard run. And that's the way we stand with 5:20 left here in the third quarter, 13-10. First down and 10 at the 35 for the Tigers of Benedict. Their own 35-yard line. Line off the left side with Jeffrey Nobles. Junior out of Mobile, Alabama. Number 4, Lynn Freeman on the stop defensively. Nobles was the leading rusher for this Benedict squad a year ago with 604 yards. He averaged 5.2 yards every time he touched the ball. He scored a couple of touchdowns. In fact, I'll tell you how productive he was. Of all of the times he carried the ball, he only lost 27 yards on 116 attempts.
You have to like that. That's a guy that's going downhill and getting positive yardage on every play.
It is second down. And here he goes again. Into the secondary and across midfield at the 49-yard line. Right at midfield is where they're going to mark it, as Darius Baker, number 15, had to come up to make the stop.
Yeah, and Darius Baker right now, he's trying to find a soft place to hit the running back, which is kind of hard when he's coming downhill this fast. You can see this guy means business. He's not trying to fake or cut. It's straight to the goalpost. He doesn't know about side-to-side running. He's also averaging about 4 yards a carry, which is extremely good average, and they're going to get more chances to run this football.
Well, that's what they've been doing all ball game long, and there is the same running back again. This time he stopped by Eric Witt, number 7. Nobles again on the carry that time. Nobles has been all of a sudden, that's his 12th carry on the ball game, 46 yards.
J.D. Washington's getting the super deluxe tape job. That brown tape on the side is called moleskin, and that's actually like a thicker tape than the regular tape.
So call that the super deluxe. Huh?
Yeah, when you pull that out, that means you have a slight problem. You have a little something in your giddy up.
Elijah Clark in the lineup now in place of Nobles at the tailback spot for Benedict. Second back behind Scott. And here's Elijah Clark trying to spin. Defensive right side wouldn't let him get away. Lynn Freeman, Alfonso Dunston over there to make the stop.
Yeah, you see the big guys from Morehouse, the defensive lineman, Juan Holmes, and Coach Polk talked to us yesterday that they were going to play 11 defensive linemen. They wanted all guys to rotate to get maybe 20 to 25 plays because he actually wanted to wear down the Benedict's offensive line going into the third and fourth quarter because he knew it would get back to this situation where Benedict is going to try to run the ball downhill to take control of this game going down the stretch.
It is third down. Third and about 8.
Another blitz.
Rolling right. Incomplete. Too high, too big for Gerald Robinson. He couldn't hold on. Woodrow Reed was there defensively.
Even though that throw was a little bit high by Tremaine Lau, your wide receiver, 3rd and 8, you have to stretch out and make this catch. It's a tough catch, but you have to have it because every third down, at this point, Morehouse seems like they're going to blitz. Coach Polk is going to put pressure. He's going to make the quarterback make a quick decision with the ball, banking that he can't complete passes when it's over 3rd and 8.
As you look again at Ravenel Dupree. Degazan with the punt, and he goes out of bounds right outside the 20-yard line at about the 21. And that's where Morehouse will take over their third possession of the second half. They lead it by 3, 13-10, and the fans are having fun in the stands. That's part of what happens. And, of course, Kevin White, number 16, you see there on the sideline. Well, that's the wrong areas with no helmet on. For Benedict College, quite a story in himself. Also played on the baseball team. He's 25 years old, and he's had some problems in life, hasn't he, Eddie?
Yes, he has, but he's a guy that come back, and the coach just is really excited about this guy. He's not starting this year, but they really like his off and on field persona.
Eddie Rowe, who scored the last touchdown on the carry. Spellman again on the stop. And you know, just to continue that story a little longer, you know, he was one of those guys who was homeless for a while, was out on the street, was going through a whole lot of changes in life, and he's used his intelligence to overcome the adversity in his life. It's allowed him to get his life back together. And as Coach said, he is still growing as a person. He's not playing a lot, but he is the backup of record to Tremaine Lyle. There's a little bobble on the ground by Carlos King. He manages to pick it up, and he's slung down to the ground by DeMonte Coleman, number 97.
Yeah. And Coach says he's just a real cerebral player and just an inspiration to the rest of the guys. Here, I think we just have to keep it simple. Morehouse may be trying to do a little bit too much, pulling out maybe the mid-season plays for the first game. You have a small lead and you're backed up. Let's not get the quarterback in a situation where you force him to almost make a mistake. You don't want that to happen in this type of ball game.
3rd and 13 from the shotgun they were. And there's a fumble again. They was not supposedly going to the quarterback. I think it was scheduled to be centered to Eddie Rowe. And I think they may have sent it to the wrong person before Trevin Richardson made the stop defensively, number 21 for Benedict. There's the coach.
And after those last 2 plays, I'm just glad to get my punter on the field because it was near disaster both times. I don't know if that was a direct snap to Rowe or if it was a handoff. I don't think they really knew. So you're real fortunate that ball has touched the ground almost the last 2 plays in your own territory, and you don't want that.
They gained 1 yard on that drive in 3 plays, and they're going to punt it away. Adams will punt it, and he's going to punt to Richard Siders, number 89. Here's a flag down. Not a bad kick. And it bounces out of bounds right at about the 39-yard line. Let's see what the penalty flag is all about. Our referee, Rod Holloway. So far today, we've only had 8 penalties in the game. Each team has been penalized 4 times.
For an opening game, that's extremely good because sometimes these first games of the year can get real sloppy. Guys are still trying to feel themselves out. You know, in college, we don't have any preseason to get everybody warmed up and ready to go.
Apparently, this penalty is against Morehouse because they're talking to one of the co-captains from
Benedict. The
Benedict.
ball is spotted at the 40-yard line. We had not enough men on the line of scrimmage. A 5-yard penalty in if you choose to take the penalty. Decline it, you got the ball at the 40.
The question is, do you decline it or re-kick?
Great explanation by the referee.
Look for
I think he wants to.
illegal formation. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. On the offense, that penalty will be declined.
They're going to take the ball.
Results of the play, first down, Benedict.
So Benedict gets the ball, first down. Our referee tonight is Rod Holloway. He also has a crew of Alvin Washington, the head linesman, Art Williams, the back judge, Alton Bryant, the line judge, Keenan Allen, the field judge, Mickey Collins is the umpire, and Frankie Baggett is the side judge. First down and 10 for Benedict. This is their 4th possession of the second half at their own 39-yard line. They punted all possessions here in the second half. They scored the last 2 possessions of the first half. This will be their 4th possession here in the second half in the 3rd quarter with 22 seconds left. Well, the clock says 22. I think they're going to reset it to 36. Some time ran off that shouldn't have, and that's the time remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
You don't want to cheat the fans out of those 14 seconds.
No, you
a lot
don't.
Can happen.
You know you don't. But you know, we're talking about this Morehouse team. This is a team that has not won a season opening game in 7 years. So this is a big thing. And I was talking to Coach Terry Buford about it. He said, you know, I didn't realize that. He said, we got to break that. We got to stop that type of situation, you know?
When you approach every season, all across the country, this weekend, next weekend, everybody has these opening days. And everybody thinks that they're going to the Super Bowl or to the championship game or to whatever, the Rose Bowl. And so it's always that emphasis on winning the first game. We're going to go undefeated. And it's hard to keep that enthusiasm going when you start off 0-1 for 7 years straight.
It certainly is. I mean, Morgan State was the last team they beat in a season opener, and that was 1997. That was 24-14. After that, they lost 7 straight season openers, and they were all to the same team, Fort Valley. So this is why this year they didn't schedule Fort Valley as a season opener.
I think that's a great job by the AD. If I lose the season opener to the same team in the first game, let's move them back to number 3 and get another team up here in the season opener so I can start off 1-0 for a change.
That's right. But Terry Buford wasn't here for any of those losses, so he's hoping to turn things around. Here's Tremaine Lyle. Letting it go. A long shot down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. He was trying to hit number 86, Mizell, Christopher Mizell.
And I was wondering at what point would Benedict come back with a first down pass, because they've been real methodical running the ball on first down, trying to control the clock. Now they're down by 3 points. You have to hit a play action and go deep. I think that may have been his first or second play where he's actually thrown it more than 20 yards down the field, because Morehouse is content to put 8 and 9 men among the line of scrimmage and just dare you to throw the ball deep. So at some point you have to test them and at least try it.
Well, they say Mizell is a speed burner. Beaufort, South Carolina is a freshman. They tried to get it to him that time. And they keep the ball on the ground, going straight into the gut with Andre Sumner. Eric Witt, first man to hit him, number 7 defensively for the Maroon Tigers at Morehouse.
Now with this 4-4 alignment, you're always going to have an extra guy that the offense can't block. And this time that assignment goes to Mr. Witt. And that's how you just wrap up, get a guy down, all your teammates come on the back end and just wrestle him down for a 2-yard gain. That's a great play by the Morehouse defense.
It is 3rd down. So that's the end of the third quarter here. The third quarter, 15 minutes of football left here in regulation time at the 40-yard line. When we come back, it'll be 3rd down and 10. For Benedict. We start the 4th quarter here. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson. And we're in Atlanta on the campus of Morehouse College for this SIAC contest. 3rd down and 10 for the Benedict Tigers. In the white jerseys, in case you just joined us, 3rd and 10. They trail it by 3, 13-10 as we start the 4th and final quarter. Tremaine Lyle with the pass is too low. Skipped along the ground, intended for Brian Clark, number 81. And you got to hit a man that's wide open, don't you, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, he has to complete this pass, like we're saying. And it's a situation where he just doesn't get a lot of chance to throw the ball. But in that one, the guy is open. That's move the chains play. You get another set of downs going into the 4th quarter. You're down by 3. That's a pass that the coach expects him to complete.
So that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation. Their 4th punt here in the second half. Degazan getting it away. High kick. Ravenel Dupree will get away from it. And it bounces. Takes a Benedict bounce. It goes out of bounds right at the 16-yard line. So a couple of good punts by Mr. Degazan. This one good for 44 yards. After his first punt as a collegian early in this contest, covered only 8 yards. He's been doing a pretty good job since then.
He started off shaky, but he bounced back good. He had a couple good punts. He even made his first field goal of his college career after numerous attempts. So
last year, the team was 0-9 in field goals. He missed 5 of them. They tried 2 other kickers, and they were no better.
And if you keep missing field goals like that and extra points, the coach will send you home with an apple and a road map.
1st down and 10 at their own 16 as we start. Then Morehouse gets their ball for the first time here in the 4th quarter. Keeping it on the ground and still running with the vengeance is Eddie Rowe.
Hard running Rowe.
You remember J.D. Washington had been the man of record up until late in the 3rd quarter, midway through the 3rd quarter. And watch Rowe do his thing.
Rowe does a real good job. They call it yards after contact. And you can see from the time he gets hit, he just keeps turning those legs. He's ready for his opportunity.
He needed a tackle by committee for them to get him down. And here he is again down to the 30-yard line or out to the 30. Lars Curry, he has 7 tackles today, Mr. Curry.
Very active.
Lars is a senior out of Aiken.
All those cute formations with the 3 and 4 wide receivers at this point in the game. Don't forget, Coach was an old offensive lineman. He wants to run the ball right now.
Curry is a first-team preseason all SIAC selection. Raymond Johnson is the man in motion. Keeping the ball on the ground again on that 1st down run. You know, we were talking about Coach He played his collegiate, Terry Buford played his collegiate ball at Florida A&M, and you guys played against each other in a game down in Mobile, Alabama. In fact, I had a chance to do that game.
Yeah, Charlie, you're getting kind of old.
Yes, I am.
But yeah, we played against each other. I think that Alabama State, we shook up FAMU a couple of times back in the late 80s when I was in college with them.
Comer on the carry, number 33. First time we've seen him today. New running back in the lineup for Morehouse. McCausland, who started the game with a whole bunch of tackles. That's his first tackle in the second half. He had 5 at halftime.
Big boys wear down early in the year. He doesn't really get his stride until around Halloween, October and November. It's hot out here.
This time they're going to work from the gun. Carlos King calling the signals. Now it's a quarterback draw. He takes it off left side and continues to pick up some yards, about 7 on the play, before number 56, Fred Thomas, made the stop. So it'll bring up 4th down.
And some people at home may say that's a real conservative call. But what you have is you have a quarterback who's only started 3 games last year. This is only his 4th game starting as a collegiate. It's 3rd and 8. Don't put him in a situation where he can mess up and lose the game. Let him use his legs. Worst case scenario, you get a good punt and you play defense.
4th down. Here's Williams running to Siders. End over end. Siders calls for the fair catch and makes it right at the 26-yard line. 11:45 to go in the game after the 37-yard punt. 13-10 is our score. The time remaining in the 4th quarter is 11:46. We've had a little light problem. One of the bank of lights here at the stadium has gone out. So they're holding to try to get the lights back on. It looks like they're trying to come back on. I don't know how long it's going to take them to get back up to full power. But in the meantime, there's Terry Buford. His team is up by 3 in this ball game. And, of course, he's looking for his first victory, his first year as a coach on the collegiate level. There's our referee, Rod Holloway, going over, and he's going to talk things over with Coach Hendrick on the other sideline.
We're going to play.
We are going to play.
These lights are out at this pole here. We're going to play.
We better play.
I'm just letting both coaches know. All right.
So we're going to play. The Benedict running backs. There's the light bank that's out here in the stadium. But more importantly, you look at the running backs, what they've done today. Noble, Sumner, and Kelvin Clark.
Yeah, and
Elijah Clark, I'm sorry.
And the surprise is Clark, because he was banged up coming into the game and we didn't know how much he would play. But in those 6 carries, you can see he's averaging 5 yards a carry and has been real explosive when he's touched the ball.
1st down and 10 for the Benedict Tigers. Tremaine Lau has it batted in the air. Getting his hand on it was Donkor Al-Amin. Tremaine Lau was able to cradle it in, making sure that it was not going to be anything disastrous.
And this is just a basic swing pass, almost like a screen. Great job of getting his hands up, and good job by the quarterback of catching that tip and getting positive yards instead of
actually, he did. He got about 3 or 4 yards out of the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Is that a completed pass, quarterback to quarterback, or how does that go on the stat sheet?
Yeah, yeah, it's a completed pass. Ahead, here's Elijah Clark. Elijah Clark is met by a host of maroon jerseys, as it was led by DeMario Pruitt and Lynn Freeman, 93 and 4 respectively.
This is the situation in the game where Morehouse, they have those 11, 12 defensive linemen. Remember, they only had 5 or 6 last year. They're rotating those guys out. You can see the Benedict guys are coming out of the huddle kind of slow. Those big guys, they get tired early in August and September. See if Morehouse can't wear down Benedict's offense.
Well, you know, there was a young line, Michael Spencer, the left tackle, the only veteran offensive lineman that they had, coming back from the starter position last year, and then we had a penalty flag, and it's going to be dropped against Vereen, covering Christopher Mizell. Christopher Mazzell, the intended receiver, and defender all over him, Marine. Ron Holloway.
5 greater than 15. Greater than 15. Pass interference. 25 on the defense. 15 yards. Previous spot foul. First down.
And you know, at some point, Benedict is going to have to pass to make a play through the air. The defensive back just got a little anxious and got in there a little bit quicker. Easy call for the referee. But they're still playing tight coverage, and Benedict has not completed many passes today.
The quarterback almost fell down, lost his footing. I believe they're going to whistle him down. That is Tremaine Lyle, senior out of Baltimore, as his knee hit as he was trying to spin out there. That's probably on the football field some of the worst part of the field because of the big paint job of the numbers and the letters and the whole bit. It makes it kind of footing kind of treacherous, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's a very big Morehouse M. It covers almost, what, 15, 20 yards. And it is a slippery part of the field, like you said, and it cost him actually 2 or 3 yards in the loss when he could have had some positive yardage on that play.
So to bring up a 3rd and 13. A 2nd and 13, correction. The pass incomplete. Isaiah Tyndall, the intended receiver, just couldn't get it to him. Number 80, sophomore out of Sumter, South Carolina, is Eubanks and Derek Scott were covering defensively for the Maroon Tigers in Morehouse.
And here you see Benedict is trying to roll out once again with Tremaine Lyle. He puts his hand up. He has the corner route. He just kind of let him a little bit too much. But he was open for a second. That's a tough throw when you're on the run and trying to drop that ball in right before you get to the out-of-bounds mark.
There's Lyle's passing numbers today. Not what you like. 2 of 12 for just 18 yards.
He's had a couple drops, but he's also had a couple bad throws where he kind of one-hopped into the guy also.
Britton Thompson and Tremaine Lyle. Oh, he completed one to himself. And here's the fullback, Rashidi Scott. Rashidi Scott at the 10-5, touchdown Morehouse. Make that Benedict, rather.
Great call by Benedict. Everybody blitzed from Morehouse from the other side. This was a fullback screen. He just kind of hit out, and once it was completed, it was KT bar the door.
55 yards, and the quarterback a little slow coming off the field. Tremaine Lyle, he's holding his left arm. He's a little hurt, but look at the 55-yard run.
And this is just a throwback to the fullback. You saw him, he gave him the hand slap. It's almost like a slip screen. You let your guy go, and you turn around fast. And if it hits, it hits. If not, the quarterback gets knocked out.
9:09 remaining. And there's the point after attempt, and it's good by Degazan. And we have a 17-13 ball game. So how big is the extra point was missed earlier?
Huge.
By Morehouse. In the meantime, here's the big fellow, Rashidi Scott, a 215-pound senior from Baltimore. He dives into the end zone. 17-13 is the score. Benedict, and you see Kevin White warming up. We spoke of him earlier. The young man has had some issues with his life, but he may be at a quarterback of record because this is why Tremaine Lyle really hit on that last play.
Yeah, you see number 17, Jason Corso, and he caught him on the left wrist, and we don't know Jimmy Lane, number 17. We don't know how bad that injury may be, but we saw the backup quarterback warming up. Tough situation for him to come into this ball game.
But they're leading, so that doesn't hurt. And of course, there's the 5-play, 71-yard drive, 2:36 before that touchdown pass. As you look at Rashidi Scott, the man who scored on that catch and run from the quarterback Tremaine Lyle. Lyle had only completed 2 passes, and one of them was to himself. So
that long pass there would definitely help his average.
It certainly will. This is Russ trying to get to the corner. Cuts it back into the middle of the field, and he's put down from behind right at about the 26-yard line. So the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse down by 4 points. Remember, they've missed an extra point and a field goal in this particular ball game. And they will have the ball first down and 10. Now let's see. There may have been a flag down. It is.
It's usually in the vicinity of you have a
maybe it's offsides on the kicking team.
Captain, I'm going to let you face your sideline so you can see him. We got the kicking team offside. That's a 5-yard penalty added to the 26, move it to the 31, or re-kick it. They want to re-kick it.
So they're going to re-kick it.
Good decision.
Offside on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So our referee, Rod Holloway, has been very good in giving us information this evening about what's going on. I like the fact that they've allowed the officials to point out on the college level some of the same things that's been happening on the professional level for years. As you look at the penalty situation, 4 for one team, 6 for the other.
And he's given us some real good explanations of exactly what's going on the field. And from a viewer at home and even from us, a lot of times you're like, what exactly are they doing? What's going on? You want to know. And even the coaches on the sideline, they have to make a decision. So the better his explanation is the quicker the game can move on and the player and the coach can make a good decision.
Marquise Horn and Byron Comer are the deep men waiting to receive De Gazan's kick. It'll be Horn.
He's a speedster.
Track star from California out to the 35-yard line. So they gained about 4 yards after all of that said and done. Out to the 35-yard line. If they'd have declined the penalty, they would have had the ball at the 31. But now it's at the 35. First down and 10 for Morehouse, trailing by 4. 21 carries for 88 yards for J.D. Washington. Carlos King on his passing, and he's also rushed for 71 yards today. Here's Eddie Rowe. Eddie Rowe. Go up to the 48-yard line before he's brought down by Javaris Atchison. Eddie Rowe on the run.
Eddie Rowe is really running hard. What you have here is a sprint draw. The quarterback brings the ball back to the tailback. And he has some get up coming through the holes. He really hits with a lot of explosion. Tried to use a good old stiff arm at the end and was brought down, but that was a good pickup on first down.
He's got 56 yards on 10 attempts so far this evening. Here's Rowe again trying to go to the left side. Loses his little rag. Let's go to Mike in the studio.
Charlie, thanks. Couple news and notes. Vincent Meeks, a Texas Tech safety, could face 2 years in jail because he violated probation on a forgery charge. Missouri and Illinois reached a 4-year deal to play football starting in 07. And Emily Neiman, a key player in Baylor's championship last spring, has transferred to UC Santa Barbara. Back to Charlie and Eddie, providing their own life.
Well, we're having a lot of fun here in Atlanta. Opening game of the college season. Here's Carlos King, wants to go to the air, has it completed to the near sideline, and it's Theodore Mentor on, and he stepped out of bounds, I believe, up around the 29-yard line or 31-yard line. Now he's hurt as he goes into the long jump pit.
We're here at Edwin Moses track, and that pit is kind of close to the end zone, and hopefully he's okay. He took a real nasty spill after the hit.
And then we have Lars Curry for Benedict down around midfield.
I really like the play calling. Just a easy play action pass. The fullback just kind of sneaks out to the flat. He's uncovered. That's an easy throw for the quarterback. But man, did he take a hit? He lost his headgear, and hopefully he's okay out there.
So we have 2 players down, 1 for each squad. Mentor, there he is, number 28 for Morehouse College, who's first team all-conference selection on the defensive side of the ball for Benedict College. There he is, Lars Curry from Aiken, South Carolina. Mentor starting tonight at the tight end. He's from Atlanta, senior.
And we can only guess that J.D. Washington, that ankle must be bothering him a little bit. I see him walking around a little at the 50-yard line, but it's only the first game of the year, and he has a really good backup in Eddie Rowe. And so I'm sure coach is going to exercise a little caution as far as bringing him back in there if he is a little banged up.
Lars Curry is up and going off under his own power. Meantime, they're still tending to Mentor down in the long jump pit, down around the goal line. But he's on the sideline, so they may still go ahead and play the game. We'll see. They got him up. Now Mentor's up.
Both guys are okay. That's always great news. You hate to have any injuries any time of the year, but especially early on in the season in the first game. So much more season to look forward to for both of these teams.
The former starting quarterback is now in at tight end, number 11, DeJuan Burton.
Uh-oh. Now, DeJuan, this is a real special story also, Charlie, because he was a very good quarterback the last 2 years. I mean, he wasn't a guy who was not starting. And to move the quarterback to tight end your senior year and give way to a young guy is a real unselfish act.
And you know what makes it even more intriguing? He was a preseason all-conference selection at quarterback. Here's Eddie Rowe. Eddie Rowe down to the 15-yard line. A gain of a couple. 2nd down and 8. And you wonder, you know, this is a young man who's been playing quarterback all his life. Does he block or can he block? I mean, you know, quarterback's not known for blocking too much. He's not doing too bad a job.
That's a very good job.
But he's weighing 250 now. Remember, he's going against Spencer, who weighs 180. So he's got a 70-pound advantage.
Well, he told us that yesterday. He said, well, usually I have to block the strong safeties and the cornerbacks. So I don't think he's planning on blocking any of those big defensive ends or linebackers.
Here's Eddie Rowe again. Eddie Rowe down to the 10 or 9-yard line. I don't think he hit anybody that time. We're keeping an eye on him.
And keep in mind that DeJuan Burton, we said, how long you been practicing the tight end plays? For 48 hours.
48 hours, that's right.
He's only been the tight end for two days, basically. You've been a quarterback your whole life. So for him just to go in there and line up and to try to hit somebody, I think that's just a great job. Just the whole Morehouse team is just very unselfish players. All they care about is winning, not individual stats.
Remember we had the flea flicker earlier with Eddie Rowe? There's a little delayed draw with Marcus Cowens, the fullback, carrying it. Remember we had the little flea flicker earlier with Eddie Rowe giving it back to the quarterback, Carlos King. Well, maybe we'll have a little end around with DeJuan Burton getting the ball and throwing it to Carlos King, because Carlos King was a receiver. He played a number of positions when he was in high school. He didn't just play quarterback.
Yeah, but if coach put that play in and after 48 hours, he's really good to design that and practice it after 2 days of him moving to tight end.
Well,
that'd be great.
They didn't practice it yesterday when we watched him, I'll tell you that.
But as the season goes on, that's something that you might see. You see, he's a big guy for a quarterback now. He's not a little toothpick quarterback, so he can get in there and throw some blocks.
6'5", 250, senior business administration major out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They're measuring for the first down, and this looks like it's going to be a little short. Well, maybe, yeah. Yep, it is going to be short.
You have to go for it right here. I'm almost definite. Coach Buford, he's an old offensive lineman, and at this point, you know, last thing offensive lineman wants to do is come out of the game on 4th and inches. You're saying you have no confidence in this, coach. So early in the season, he has some big guys up front. He has a big fullback and big tailback in Eddie Rowe. And so look for them just to go straight downhill and try to get this first down.
Well, one of the things they did when they came in with the new coaching staff and Sean Gilliam's the offensive coordinator, you know, Coach Terry Buford decided to change the offensive blocking schemes, and that has helped them tremendously. Right now, there's a timeout on the field with 6:24 to go. 4th and inches when we come back.
What do Walter Payton, Jerry Rice, Steve McNair, and John Stallworth have in common? They're some of the NFL's biggest stars, and they emerge from the best-kept secret in college football, historically black colleges and universities. ESPNU is proud to present HBCU football. Every week, experience the competition, the marching bands, and the excitement that is HBCU football. Watch Delaware State take on Florida A&M Saturday, September 3rd at 7 Eastern, only on ESPNU.
17-13 and a 4th and inches facing the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse, who so far this evening are 2-2 on 4th down situations. So let's see. They're going to go for it. Carlos King. Eddie Rowe is the second back in the I. The up back, Marcus Cowens, he's the fullback. Quarterback will keep it, and he'll get it with room to spare. Carlos King on a quarterback keeper, and they're 3 for 3 in fourth down conversions, and it'll be 1st and goal.
What he did this time, he just kind of snuck over in that B gap between the guard and the tackle, realized that it was crowded up the middle, and he just found a little spot and got that 1 yard.
And that's all he needed. So the ball is spotted right at about the 6-yard line, where it's 1st down and goal for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse. Eddie Rowe is the back of record right now. He's the second back in the I. Carlos King calling the cadence. Play action. Here's the quarterback, Carlos King. He's trying to turn the corner. He loses yards back to the 9-yard line as Dion Lanier, number 51, would not let him get to the outside.
That's not what you want on 1st down. In this situation, you want to go downhill. I would have given that ball a roll. He pulls it out. I mean, everybody's covered. He has no choice. One guy may be open just a little. And just a great job of pursuit by Benedict with Dion Lanier.
Do you think that it was a design pass play, or it was just designed for a quarterback sweep?
I think it was designed pass play because you had guys running routes, but just everyone was covered. They didn't buy the play action on 1st down.
As well as they've been running, you'd have to buy it, wouldn't you? Here's Eddie Rowe. Eddie Rowe, touchdown! Touchdown, Morehouse.
Eddie Rowe did a good job of bailing the old coach out right there.
Yeah, on a 9-yard run. And the tackle was missed by Javaris Atkinson and Dion Lanier. They had a shot at him near as he got near the goal line, but they couldn't wrap him up.
Eddie Rowe has just been a hard runner all night long, and he gets downhill extremely fast.
His second touchdown of the night. On a 9-yard run, and here's the PAT. Williams, and this one is good. I don't know how it got through. It wasn't much higher than the crossbar. But Adam Williams makes it 2017.
Eddie Rowe says, let's not get cute with all of those passes. Hey, give it to me. Let the big guys block. I'll go north and south like I've been doing all night. Now I'll get it into the end zone. Now you see J.D. Washington. He has a little ankle twist and he can't play, but all he talked about was not his individual stats, but about winning games today. So he just wants to see his team go out there and perform well. And right now he's the biggest fan of Mr. Rowe, who's real tired.
And you see the drive, 9 plays, 65 yards, 3:36 off the clock. And Eddie Rowe with 75 yards, and he's down on the sideline. Maybe just got a cramp. The trainer's working on him.
I don't think he was expecting to get this much of a workout on opening night.
But, you know, when you look at the numbers, no one has 100 yards rushing for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse. But you have J.D. Washington, who has 80 yards. You have Eddie Rowe with 75, and you have the quarterback, Carlos King, with 70. That's spreading the wealth around.
Yeah, it really is. But you got to remember, Coach Buford came from Hampton last year where they had 2,000-yard rushers in the same backfield. So he's used to that type of workload of having multiple backs.
This one will come down and bounce into the end zone. You have to pick it up, and it'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Benedict. And, of course, we're at Morehouse College, a school that was founded in 1867 and a current enrollment of 3,000. Dr. Walter Massey is the president of the Morehouse, and some of the famous alumni, very distinguished alumni, the late Dr. Martin Luther King, of course, movie producer Spike Lee, actor Samuel L. Jackson, and of course the track is named for Olympic gold medalist Edwin Moses, and Maynard Jackson, the former mayor of Atlanta, who also has the airport, the Hartsfield International, or Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. 1st down and 10. And back in the lineup is the quarterback, Tremaine Lyle. So he did manage to shake off whatever was ailing him. Maybe that long drive by Morehouse allowed him to get well.
Yeah, definitely. But he needs to come up here and have a couple big plays. But you know, we talked to those guys yesterday about the Morehouse mystique, and and everybody wonders what that is. And they told us that you can tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell him much. And that's the Morehouse mystique that the players and a lot of the alumni always tell me about.
So you can't tell him much.
Can't tell him much.
He knows it all, right?
He thinks he does. A lot of great alumni from Morehouse.
Certainly is. Here's Andre Sumner coming out of the backfield, catching a pass. And that one has gone, take it up to the 30-yard line and very close to a first down. Eric Witt on the stop. Remember, he was shaken up earlier, but he's back in the lineup.
The opening day, you can't go out there with cramps or leg sprains. You have to know the difference between being injured and being hurt. And all these guys, like we said earlier, they want to compete and they want to win. They want to have a chance to be conference champions. And you have to lay it on the line right here in the opening day. You don't want to start the season off 0-1.
No, indeed. No one does. Morehouse trying to break that 7-year drought of winning a season opener. And this one is caught by the tight end, Brad Jackson. Brad Jackson picks up another first down across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. Jimmy Lane, number 17, defensively on the stop.
And I really like what Benedict and Coach Hendrick is doing. They're picking up the pace just a little bit. Play action on first down. They've been running most of the time on first down, but they didn't play action and go for the 50-yard play. They just went for the 10-yard completion.
Right.
Move the chains. We have a lot of time left in the ball game.
5 completions for Benedict to 5 different receivers. Here's the option for Tremaine Lyle, and he tried to pitch it back and almost cost him. It almost cost him, but we have a couple of penalty flags. Now let's see if that's in the vicinity of holding.
Holding, 88 offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot foul, replay, first down.
Brad Jackson, who caught the previous pass, is flagged for holding.
And this is called the load option right here. You see the fullback on the edge making the lead block. Then you have the late pitch, but you can have a great catch on first down. You can't follow it up with a bad play and have a hold on second down. And that's just really devastating for a team that's not really built around the pass and able to complete long plays. Now they'll have a 1st and 20 situation, and Morehouse would undoubtedly try to bring some type of blitz at some point throughout this drive.
It was Lynn Freeman who was held by Brad Jackson, the linebacker. So it'd bring up a first down and about 20 after the 10-yard penalty. Lyle looking to run, turns it up and is out to about the 40-yard line before Robert Harris, number 20, came up to make the stop defensively.
That's really good pursuit by Morehouse. Late in the game like this on opening day, guys are tired, they're breathing hard. I think we're seeing the effect of rotating all of those linemen, and everybody's still able to run to the ball. You had 8 guys in the screen around the quarterback on the scramble, and that means that these guys are still fresh, they're still getting to the ball, everybody's playing hard, and that's what they're going to need to close out this game.
Well, one of the things that Coach Polk was happy about was they had 8 starters coming back on the defensive side of the ball this year, even though they were not that deep in terms of their line play. As many people as he would like to have, but they did have some people coming back with some experience. Pass out in the flat, that's what we call a headache ball. As Christopher Mazzell comes up with the reception, Woodrow Vereen comes up and makes the stop, but it's a 3rd down situation. 3rd and about, well, we'll call it 5.
That's one of those plays where the wide receiver is like, hurry up, come on,
ball.
Come on. It can't get to you quick enough.
Because you know the man is coming to get you.
You know he's coming. He's going to take that shot, and he's going to tee off on you.
And Lyle, who was pretty lethargic early on in this contest, and only completed 2 passes, and one was to himself, was all of a sudden starting to come alive here late in this ball game with a 3rd down 5 situation facing him. They give the ball off, and there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for Andre Sumner, who was hit immediately by Lynn Freeman. Freeman with 7 tackles in the ball game tonight.
And I like the Morehouse defense. They're playing a 4-4 front. I mean, they have 9, 10 guys in the box, and you can see it's always an open guy, and they're just finishing. You have the big guys going down low. They're still fresh. The linebackers are up top. Pruitt, number 93. They're just playing real stout defense.
Well, Rowe, you had talked about him coming on in relief of J.D. Washington. 75 yards, a pair of touchdowns. What a night for the young man, Eddie Rowe, who is just picking him up and laying him down. And Eddie Rowe's out of Atlanta. He's a senior, health and physical education major.
And that's great. When you have a guy that's going into his senior season, playing at home in front of the fans, can have big runs, be real productive. on a Thursday night game on ESPNU. Everybody's at home watching, a lot of family and friends here. And you can see he's just a downhill runner, real physical guy. He doesn't have a lot of shake, a lot of moves. He doesn't have the spin moves of J.D. Washington, but he can get downhill, and he's a real physical runner. Of course, J.D., the biggest fan, he's cheering them on. And this is really going to help these guys going throughout the year to have two runners who can run like this and really wear defenses down. 14 rushes, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So great afternoon for Mr. Rowe. He just has to get rid of those cramps so he can come out here and finish the ball game.
Well, you talk about a 1-2 punch with J.D. Washington and Eddie Rowe. Between them tonight, 3 touchdowns, 35 attempts, 155 yards. That's pretty productive.
That's excellent. And that's what you want. I mean, Coach Buford is a former offensive lineman. He believes in running downhill. Early on, you saw those multiple formations and the cute wide receivers motioning back and forth. When it came to the fourth quarter, he went to the downhill running game with J.D. Washington and Eddie Rowe.
You know, it's kind of interesting. We saw Rashidi Scott score on that long 55-yard pass reception. You know, he was been in kind of the quiet storm all evening long. They haven't used him much. He hadn't really been involved in a lot of things except for blocking. And then all of a sudden, they called his number, and what does he do? He takes it to the house.
Takes it to the house. And that was an excellent call. I mean, Morehouse has been blitzing on every 3rd and 4th down. This is a real interesting call to see if Coach Polk is going to bring pressure once again. When usually he gets to that 3rd and 4th down and 5 or 6, he brings pressure. But last time he was burnt by a screenplay that went for a touchdown. So it's going to be interesting to see, does he bring pressure or does he stay in coverage?
The clock is down to 1:31. I think it should be 1:41. And that's what the holdup is right now, as we try to get the scoreboard clock.
I think I see the clock operator over there with a Morehouse jersey on.
Of course, he's trying to get that time.
He's trying to get us out of here. Keep it running.
Yeah. Keep it running. So, again, they're trying to get the clock reset. But that's the reason. And there you see Mr. Toy. That's the young man we talked about, Jorian Toy, senior out of Decatur, Georgia. Had not played the last 2 years. Came here as a freshman, stayed as a sophomore, and then went away to Iraq and worked fueling tankers over there. His parents are still over there, and he's been back in the States a month, just in time to get eligible to play football. And it was a little touch and go whether he was going to be able to play tonight. And just before game time, he was informed, yes, you will be dressing and you will play.
And it's great to see him out here. I've been on teams in college where guys have went through the whole preseason training camp, and the day before the game, they're told they're ineligible because of whatever reason. And that's just a real disheartening feeling for the player and the team to have a guy that you battle with all during training camp not make it. So it's great to see him out here, to see him contributing.
It's 4th and 3. 1:41 left on the clock. Nobles is the running back behind the quarterback, Tremaine Lyles. Here's a little option. Here's the quarterback trying to get to the first down marker, and he gets it with plenty to spare. Across the 45 and goes out of bounds to stop the clock by Jimmy Lane, number 17.
This just is a basic rollout. I think he really wants to run this ball all the way, but look at number 20, Robert Harris. He makes the mistake. He goes inside. He doesn't let the other 10 guys play. If he would have stayed outside, the pursuit from the inside would have had a great chance to make the tackle and stop the first down. 1:34
remaining. You remember, we have a 3-point ball game, 20-17. We could get a field goal, possibly looking at overtime. Or we could get a touchdown for Benedict. They win it. Morehouse trying to hold on defensively. For the final 1:34. Little screen pass, and nobody was looking. In fact, the only person over there was the offensive lineman, Michael Spencer. I don't believe the fullback who was supposed to, or the running back, Nobles, who was supposed to get that screen, who even knew what was happening, because the only person there was the offensive tackle, Mike Spencer, number 73, and it's a good thing he didn't touch it.
Yeah, I think Nobles is too good of a runner. Let Rashidi Scott run those screen plays, the big fullback. He knows how to sell it and get open. But that's the similar play that they scored the touchdown on, where you roll out one way and you throw back screen to the other side, hoping that the pursuit, Morehouse is doing a lot of blitzing. They're trying to see if we can catch them in a blitz and try to hit them with another long play again.
It is 2nd down, 2nd and 10. 1:28 remaining. Lyle rolling to the right this time. Too much for the tight end, Brad Jackson. just too big for him. Off his fingertip. And maybe some pressure on Degazan there. Martin, number 17, on the sideline. He may have to try a field goal now. He's way out of his range right now.
Of course.
He's out of a lot of NFL kickers' range right now.
Unless you're in Denver.
Mile high, huh?
When we talked to Coach Polk, he told me that he was expecting that they may run a lot of screens and he would shift his blitzes to man coverage. So we'll see if they run a screen again on this play.
4 of 11 and third down conversions for the Tigers of Benedict. And this one's incomplete. Incomplete. Threw on the inside and very good coverage. Mazel was the intended receiver. Very good coverage by Vereen. Vereen had a pass interference penalty on him earlier in the game, but he comes up and makes a good play. And then it was not a great throw either by the quarterback. So he didn't help the situation. But they're going to go for it. They almost have to. There's no question because they can't afford to punt it away right now. 1 of 1 on fourth down conversions for the Tigers of Benedict tonight with 1:17 to go. And they trail it by 3 points. Here's Coach John Hendrick. They did win their season opener a year ago. In fact, they started the season with a win over Stillman. And then they lost to South Carolina State, and the quarterback Lyle got hurt, and then they came in and lost a 3-point game a year ago to Morehouse. Let's go back to the studio and Mike Hall. Mike.
All right, thanks, Charlie. Coming up in our post-game show, we'll take you back out to the site there in Atlanta for the Battle of the Bands post-game style. We'll take you to Lou Holtz and show you what he had to say in response to the NCAA, and we'll tap into the life and the home of one of the best players in the ACC. We'll get to that in just a bit. But now, Charlie and Eddie wrap this thing up for us.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. 1:17, the time remaining here. There you see Coach John Hendrick. Third year, 9-13 is his overall record coming into today's game here at Benedict. He was an assistant at Mississippi State. 8 years he coached the defensive line. In fact, in 1999, Mississippi State's defense led the nation in total defense, and he was a part of it. Right now, his offense is what he's concerned about with 4th and 10. This may be the last-ditch effort for Benedict tonight. This one is thrown. It was in the receiver's hands. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Eric Witt, and then in and out of the hands of Christopher Mazel. He had a chance, but didn't get it. Didn't get it done.
I like the play call here. It was a simple play. You need this 4th and 10. You need 10 yards. He ran a 12-yard route, a curl play. The quarterback threw it a little bit to the outside. Like I said, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And Morehouse has this game in pretty much control right now. And this guy is open. I think if this ball is not tipped, he hits this play right here.
Yeah, got the hand on it.
He changes the trajectory just a little bit, and he was
certainly
open.
did.
He curled up right at the first down marker for 12 yards, and that was a great play by the Morehouse defender to get a hand on that ball and stop that completion.
That's why they keep saying it's a game of inches, huh? King just takes a knee. They'll let the clock run down. Benedict, I don't believe, has any timeouts left.
Coach Hendrick called a great game today. I mean, when you're going on the road for the opening night, to me, it's a classic setup game. I hate going on the road for the first game of the season, especially when you're playing a Thursday night game that's televised. You know the fans and the players are going to be into it. His team played extremely well. They ran the ball well. They played really good defense. And they just are a little bit short tonight, just 3 points shy of Morehouse.
Well, that's the same result from a year ago. It was a 3-point ball game when these two teams played. It was 10-7 a year ago. It's 2017 this year. The first-year head coach, Terry Buford, who's overcome a lot of personal injury to be here as to be the head coach of this Morehouse Maroon Tiger team. He gets the water bath or the Gatorade bath, whichever they had in there, but it's full ice, I'll tell you that. Final score 20-17 from here in Atlanta, and for the first time since 1997. Morehouse wins a season opener. They do it with a 3-point victory over their SIAC rival, Benedict College. They had lost 7 straight to Fort Valley. In fact, that's who they play next week right here at the stadium. Final score, 2017. There's Coach. He's happy. That's it for Morehouse. 20-17 to final. It's been a presentation of ESPNU, the worldwide leader in sports. For Eddie Robinson, this is Charlie Neal. Next Thursday on ESPNU Primetime, it's an SEC ACC showdown. Vanderbilt takes on Wake Forest at 7 Eastern. Now let's head back to the U studio and Mike Hall. Mike?
From Charlie.